God, we're on the internet. I've done it. We're live. We're here. We're live on the internet. I've been sitting here asking how everyone's day was, and they all said it was good. So we can move on. What's going on? It's Tuesday. It's time for D&D in space. I get so excited about D&D in space every week.
As do I.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Sorry, that was loud. I was close to the microphone. I'm excited.
You're fine. I can't modulate my microphone distance whatsoever. I'm always either like too close and like screaming loud, I've noticed, or I'm like really far away. You can't hear anything I say. So one of these days I'll get it all figured out, I think. Yeah, cool. We're back. We're rolling deep tonight. For a minute here, it looked like we were only going to have a couple people, but now we get a bunch of people. And so we're short a Lux and Badman. But you guys are rolling deep. I like having 5 players. It makes me feel like I can up the level of violence that's going to unfold dramatically.
You don't have to do that.
Kurt's face.
Kurt got his share of violence.
Had enough
last
violence
night.
for the week, Rich.
Last night was ugly, you guys. On the Firelight Tailstream, I hit them with one of the lonely.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. It was brutal, Troy. They're like all their damage.
Nothing. He didn't attack us with anything else. Only the lonely.
Only the lonely.
I made the joke last night. I had to make it again.
I don't.
Did you all survive?
Well, technically, we all had hit points at the end, but it doesn't mean there weren't a couple like death saves made along the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have a priest, Crixus, my buddy Mike plays a priest. They're all 6th level now. So and like he got revivified.
Who does the healing though? Let's be honest.
It's Kurt. Yeah, Kurt does the healing. Yeah.
Yeah, bards get the job
the bard
done.
does all the healing.
Hey. I'll heal. That's fine. Come on.
Bard
Well,
that
in
heals?
this crew, we don't have a
Lord.
bard, so somebody else has got to do it. I'm just saying.
I only know one of those, a bard that
Bards.
heals. Yeah.
I know a lot of healing bards. I know,
Yeah,
some
I know
notable
one bard
exceptions.
that doesn't
Yeah.
heal.
Yeah.
All the other ones
Yeah,
do.
I know a non-healing bard.
One of them's just been off in the woods for, I don't know, 6 weeks.
I don't know. It was a really fun combat, but I definitely got to the moment of having a panic attack because I was like, they have Revivify. It'll be fine. And then the guy with Revivify is down 2 death saving throws and hanging 15 feet from the ceiling, grappled by this thing. And I'm like, oh, this might be bad. Because like, I feel like so without a net, like D&D, like live on stream, like, come on, there's like very little that can be done. If I accidentally like kill the priest, like, so be it, he's dead, you know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good thing we won't be on like stream for like 40 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
or in like 5 minutes here.
very fortunate.
But that's okay.
Like currently,
Death is the risk that you take in order to go on adventures.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. Death is supposed to be like a very tangible, right there, risk when we do these things. You guys are like badass, You're not farmers. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, some of us.
When I go on an adventure vacation, I typically don't want to like risk death.
Yeah, there's like a line there that I enjoy,
Where is
like
that?
stopping at.
Well, sure, like, you wear armor when you go into the dungeon, just like you put the seatbelt on when you get into a roller coaster, but that thing might rip apart at any second. You never know,
You might pick a fight with some gift cues in a bar.
Oh, yeah.
Melissa.
I don't know that.
Oh, I think that those were probably proper GIF. If I had to
sorry.
guess. It's
They are.
okay.
I don't really know the difference.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not in character, so I shouldn't correct you.
Maybe you should.
Correct me.
Did anybody call them GIF instead
No.
of GIF? Did that get into a whole debate?
I'm saving that one for you. You can break that out when they turn back up again.
The guy who created them called them GIFs. Sorry.
God.
Next time we run into one, you hit them with that, they're gonna feel the burn.
Doc, quite fortunately for everybody on the Dragonfly, brought back a bunch of GIF smut. So there's a great multitude of GIF smut now available for your reading pleasure on the Dragonfly as you cruise the stars. And yep.
I like the article.
Well, so this is where we find ourselves tonight. We were short Professor last week. It's been a minute since we've had Jake in person in the shell, so to speak. But a lot has like gone on. So I guess like the usual question, do you guys have any like housekeeping, bookkeeping? Is there any homework we need to go over here? Should we talk about the undesignated magic items, or we'll just blow that off again? We'll do that at someday.
Well, yeah, I was just wondering if anything got sorted. That's all.
It's sort of tracked. I definitely like tracked it, and we got a decent list of the things which have been gathered up. Let me double check this right here. Yes, I shall. And I shall show you players this handout with the list of items that I have so far.
We sold a bunch of emeralds last week. We got a lot of money.
Oh, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Ah, yes, that was my question. Were any of the spell scrolls things that the professor could do something with?
I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah. Okay. I will investigate.
What about my ring, Rich?
Oh, yeah, you have a ring. We need to identify that.
I have a platinum ring.
Yes.
We got to get someone to identify that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you have identify, wizard?
I'm sorry, who?
You. Reggie.
A wizard?
Yeah. Do you have identify?
It's a great question. I don't think that I do.
I'm seeing a spell scroll of identify in this list of things.
Oh my god, that's great! What a coincidence!
I know how incredibly useful.
I definitely did read the whole list because I noticed that ring was not on there, so I did read the whole.
Asturias can read just fine. Is that what just yeah?
I don't know what's going on, but I know how to read.
Yeah, Il Professor could definitely learn this, and if Rich is okay with it, depending on how much downtime occurred while they were gone.
Oh yeah,
I'm assuming the professor stayed on the ship and like did some studying.
Yeah, there was actually plenty of time for you to do so, and if you would have left your ring with him, Rhea, he could have identified it easily for you. No problem. It's a ring of feather falling.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Reg.
Excuse me?
Reginald. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no,
it's fine.
Yeah.
We're doing a rolling start into roleplay. It's fine.
Love to see it. We love to see it. Okay, cool. Let's jump into that stuff in a second, I guess, here, because it's like we might as well talk about it in character. So, to that end, where last we left our heroes, the lot of you had taken the Dragonfly to the nearby water world of Cerelia, where you came down searching for the old capital city, Chitomi, but upon landing you found naught but ruins. So you sent a couple of the crew out onto the ruins to explore a little bit, whereby you were attacked by a series of chokers lurking within the rubble and the refuse, and amidst your battle with them, an unfortunate casualty occurred. An octopus fell and a triton appeared, pledging that this octopus was one of the protectors and ally of the tritons, those last defenders of this water planet, Cerelia, now ruled by an empire of Sahagwin. These merciless fish people with a tyrannical, alien-like, terrifying god of many tentacles that lurks in the deep. And so after some discussion with this Triton, you agreed to share with him the information about how your ship travels through the stars, and you pledged to him that you would offer your physical aid, that you would go beneath the surface of the waves and do battle with the Sahagwin. To see if you might right the wrong which occurred in the inadvertent death of the octopus Embedea, and thus Rhys-Strannen, the Triton guardian of this place, of this broken city, once the capital of Cerelia. He went to meet with the rest of his people, leaving you with a day before you had to reunite with them, and with directions to a nearby port city called Wiroto. So you traveled to Wiroto. So you traveled to Wiroto, whereupon you did some shopping. A clockwork amulet and a pot which awakens plants were purchased from an old, somewhat befuddled kobold, once named Zrock's Foolbelt. You met a jeweler, Noctor Warbeam, who bought your emeralds, and then you took drinking, at which point a fight broke out. a brawl, fisticuffs, with a handful of GIF mercenaries at the Seagrass Saloon turned deadly as Doc unleashed fire and Noctur Warbeam, embracing his new moniker as KD, a.k.a. Noctur Warbeam, a.k.a. The Warbeam, took the GIF's firearms and began unloading live ammunition in the bar. As Rhea used magic to paralyze one of them, the brawl turned deadly, spilling out into the streets, the badmen racing through crowds of people, shearing GIF apart with psychic knives, Lux screaming frantically to use some restraint, and Doc saying, "I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do."
Too late.
While Rhea ran frantically after the carnage, bandaging GIF after GIF. So one of the three lay dead in the street as the group of you raced back for the Dragonfly, where waits one Asturias, the Professor, and your new crew member, a man once called Zrox Fullbelt, but now renamed. And so I think that the camera opens in the cargo bay of the ship. And Jake, you've been here since the crew landed in the back of the ship, quietly storing things and hiding them, your former profession giving you the aptitude to conceal that which you do not wish to be found in your ship. As, gosh, remind me, you guys, was it Lux who came back in to get the money? Yeah, so Lux came back in like, oh, hey, Jake, we just need to get some money. We'll be right back. This is Ben. He's coming with us. And this small kobold fluttering through the air, slightly red-scaled with old, frazzled gray hair and a bundle of kind of bags under his arms, just kind of drops them surreptitiously in the cargo hold, looking at you, Jake. And he's just like, "Well, that's remarkable. You're a turtle. They told me that they had a turtle here on the crew, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've never actually met such a creature before, and I'm a bit beside myself, sir. This is overwhelming."
Are you just going to leave those there?
Oh, no,
or do
I'll
you
put them
want-
wherever it is you see fit. This is your ship, and I'm just consider me a barnacle on the hull.
I can find an appropriate place.
Well, that's fantastic. I'll help you. What'd you
Okay.
say your name was?
I'm Jake.
That's amazing. Jake, I thought maybe you would have a name like your friend, the purple fellow there. They say they call him the Badman.
That is
He
correct,
told-
but I am just Jake.
Just Jake. All right, I'll remember that. I'll be sure not to call you anything else either. You just show me where you want me to put this stuff, Jake.
What is this
This
stuff?
is the total summation of my life's work. I've abandoned the rest of my personal wealth and belongings to my heirs to join you on your journey through the stars.
So this is your gear and not supplies.
Well, maybe it's a little bit of both, but yes.
Jake kind of just does a mental, like, just kind of scan of the ship. He doesn't scan. He's not like a psychic, but he's like, he just thinks, like, where does he think that this newcomer will likely stay? Like the bunking situation.
Yeah.
What's the most likely place for him?
I mean, he's very small. He's only like 2'7". He can't weigh more than 26 pounds, if you had to guess. So you could put him wherever you need.
I would say, is there a free bunk? I think
Sure,
is
there's a hammock in one of the cabins.
Jake will direct him to, like, go through that hatch,
Mhm.
Down the hall, second door on the
Mhm.
right. You'll find a free hammock.
Well, all right, I'll go get myself situated then. And I think as he's like flying through the ship, he would see Asturias somewhere, and he's like, "Hey, it's good to see you again. Your friends convinced me to join you. You're very quiet, but I'm sure you're saying something. I'm an old man. I'm a little bit deaf."
All I said was okay.
That's fantastic. It's really great to see you. I can't wait for us to talk more about your experiences growing up on Missouri.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go get my hammock. And it flies into one of the rooms. And so that's your new crew member.
So that's that.
And so I think, like, fast forward, we fade to black, the scene opening back up as, like, Jake, you hear like the frantic yelling from outside the ship. Asturias, actually, you were up above deck, as I recall, and as you're kind of surveying the crowd, you see running out of like a packed mob of people, the badman at the lead, with Lux behind, followed by Rhea and Doc, and it seems like they're being chased by some Sahagwin in the distance. So you call to Jake to drop the ramp, which is dropped, and as the badman comes like racing up into the back, he's like, "Oh, we gotta go right now, we gotta fly, there's no trouble, but we should go right now. Let's leave." And I think Lux is like, "I've got it, everyone!" And like races to the front of the ship, jumping in as the Dragonfly alights.
Yeah, so we got in a fight, so we gotta go. There is trouble. The bad man he's lying. Yeah, we gotta go.
Well, there wouldn't have been trouble if we finished off that one guy, but I think there's trouble now. There's going to be trouble.
Yeah, I think one dead, is better than 3 dead.
Is it? 3 dead would mean that they don't tell them who killed them. Now we're kind of in the worst part.
You know how everybody else in the bar was watching and they were taking bets and they're cheering on the purple man. I think they would have figured out who killed all 3.
Oh, they definitely
even
know.
if we didn't kill all of them. Unless you wanted to kill everybody. So
I mean, no. No.
Are you two just coming back to the ship then?
we're like
Everybody's
frantically
on the
We
ship.
like
Yeah.
jumped on.
I think everybody's
we raise it. Yeah. We
I
gotta
kind of
go.
like imagine like the two of you having this conversation as you're walking quickly through the
Yeah,
cargo
sure.
hold, and Jake's just like listening in the background, and like he kind of like adjusts something at his neck, and just the buzzing gets louder from inside the shell, so it just kind of drowns you out.
Ignorance is bliss. Professor.
It's like his own personal white noise machine that he can adjust.
Yeah, like
That's
a personal
amazing.
white noise machine.
Professor Asturias, what about you guys? As everybody is sort of like regrouping on the ship here.
Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, I think that as the ship taking off yet?
Yes, I think that like the feet have lifted
Yeah.
off. You're starting to pull away from the port. Yep.
Yeah, so I think as like the ship is taking off, like you see like a door open to the hold where the professor like studies and sometimes sleeps, and he's kind of got like his silk robe on and his glasses, and he's holding his book, and he just kind of looks around like, are we leaving? Is the ship moving?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we gotta go.
But why on earth would we leave so soon? We just arrived.
We got everything we need, I think, from here. So
Yeah, we went to 2 different taverns. Like,
Yeah.
We did a lot of things.
we sold the emeralds.
Ah, wonderful. Goodness.
Yeah.
And you were able to obtain the pearl that I certainly told you about that would be helpful with identifying that ring.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
For
no,
sure,
yeah.
I should have got that, but yeah, no.
No. Yeah, no.
I see. Well, let me dig through the things that we've recovered, see if perhaps there's something in there that would serve that purpose. And then I think at this point, like the professor probably clocks that Vrox is like on the
Oh,
ship.
yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah, as you open the door to the cabin, Rock's full out there. I think he's in the hammock, just rocking back and forth with his feet like dangling up off the ground. It's like,
"Ah, you've chosen to come with us. How wonderful.
that's what I
How
said.
lucky
Yeah,
for
I
you."
can't wait. I'll be perfectly honest. I wasn't sure I'd fit in, but after our small interlude there, I knew there was a man of a similar thought pattern that I could relate to.
Ah, that's so lovely. It'll be great to have a good additional crew member to help balance things out in a way.
Well, I'm not very heavy, so I'm not sure how much I can balance, but I'll sure try.
What are you implying?
Nothing of any sort. Just that when one adds a new element into the mix, it recalculates the relative assortment of things that are made available to us as a group.
Okay.
No, yeah.
That was a
He
lot
goes
of
by
words.
he goes by Ben now. Just
Well,
so you
that's
know.
right. Your friend seemed very adamant about the fact that I could change my name.
You've chosen not to use the name that was given to you. How lovely. You've chosen Ben.
It's not so much that I chose it as the badman chose it for me, and I don't want to argue with him.
Oh, if you don't like the name, you don't have to go with
It's
it.
a pretty interesting name. I mean, Ben Smitten. Yeah, I could work with that.
Ben Smitten.
Yeah.
Lovely.
He told me I could call him Nick.
Well, that's his name.
Yeah.
Name is also his name.
They're not wrong.
So, as the ship is like surging forward, all of you guys are kind of like clustered up in the front, I guess, by like the cabins. As like Rox is in the cabin, Lux is like driving or whatever. Is there anything that we want to do here? Is there anything major happening? What are you guys all doing, I guess?
Can I check to see that nobody's like tailing us?
That's a great choice. Sure, you could check.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, Ray, you like open the cargo hold and you like climb up, popping out onto the deck of the ship and peering back. And you're definitely being followed. You see.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I gotta tell everyone below. Yeah, we are being
You
tailed.
see three of like the great, like pointy-headed, kind of flying lizards, like trailing after the ship, after we're out of Waroto.
Can we lose it?
I feel like we're going as fast as we can already.
Somebody tell Lux to do the evasive maneuvers.
Maneuvers. Yeah. How far away are they?
They're a pretty good distance back. They're a couple 100 feet back, probably like 300 feet or so still.
Okay.
At some point, I should like to ask why they are following us, but perhaps it's more urgent
Now
that
is
we.
not the time.
I respect that.
It's a long story.
How
There
can
was
I
a
help?
dwarf, the war beam. Explosions were going off. Don't worry about it.
I guess
see.
I'll go tell Lux to use the evasive maneuvers.
Oh, I thought that's what you were doing.
I'm on the top. Yeah.
It's curious. You're gonna go tell Lux to take evasive maneuvers,
Uh-huh.
and I think Lux is like, "You got it! Woohoo!" And the ship suddenly like reels right as like the whole thing twists. Let's have. She's gonna push with the. Yeah, here we go. Lux rolls 19. Lux killing it. The ship like pitches hard to the left. Everything turns. I think Zrox falls out of his hammock and he's like, "Oh my god, this is incredible!" His wig's like flying to like stabilize him a little bit. All of you like grabbing onto the wall. Rhea, you gotta grab the rail. And yeah.
Mr. Smitten, are there any areas around here that would provide some cover, some sort of distraction, islands we could move between?
Actually, now that you mention it, there is. There's a former tower of the Tieflings from Mizire. They used to maintain large diplomatic centers here back in the days when this was a thriving spaceport.
Right, okay.
Of course.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure that I'm never one to turn down a historical story, but I believe that our friend Lux would very much like to know where
I'll
that
make a
is.
note about it. We'll talk about it later. I think like he flies a little bit towards the cabin, and like he's like up in the glass. Lux is like yelling at him, right? The two of them going back and forth, and so I think that Ben and Lux like yelling back and forth at each other, like the ship like twists and lurches, and
Can I hear that?
Sure.
Can I hear
Yes,
from the
yes, I think you can.
I just was wondering
Yes.
what
I
it would
think you
sound
can.
like.
I think you can.
Mhm.
You hear both of them
Mhm.
yelling back and forth at each other, enthusiasm like mounting between the pair as the ship like pitches, and you see the flying lizards with their fishmen riders like falling away in the distance as Lux manages to like kind of open up the gap between you, dropping the ship down in low just over the kind of caps of the waves that are crashing amidst the fog hanging over the waterline. And so yeah, I think Lux like probably yells back like, "It's gonna be a little bit before we're there. He says it's close. He's got maps."
Okay. I don't know what to do.
They're like falling, but does it look like they're still coming and they're just trailing behind?
You feel
Or
like
they've
you feel
stopped?
like Lux might have successfully ditched them as you drop down into the fog. Like you've put distance between the ship and them, and Lux like just brings the whole ship down into the fog, and you lose sight of them behind you.
Okay. So I guess I'll like hop down if I don't see them. Do we want to go here or do we want to go back to see Rish? Rish.
Rish.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Would there be anything of interest at the time? I mean, Asturias, do you want to go see it? It sounds pretty. I mean, I don't want to say the Tiefling Tower is not of interest to anybody. If it's of interest to anybody.
I mean, if we'll be safe there, seems you guys got us into some trouble.
Yeah, that was mostly Doc.
Accidentally. I'll have you know.
Okay, I guess we could go and hide out there for a bit.
Might I ask a question? Does anyone remember when we told Rhys Dannon to Dran? I don't quite frankly remember his name. When and where to meet?
We said we'd meet him in exactly 24 hours from when we left, I believe.
At the island that looked like teeth.
Ah, that's right. And
how long ago might
how
that
long
have
ago?
been?
It's not been that long. It took you guys like 3 hours to get out here. You probably spent like 3 hours in the city mucking around thereabouts, right? There was
causing no trouble, just
no
hanging
trouble whatsoever. There was a long rest before you left, but not since then. So yeah, it's been somewhere in the range of like 6 to 8 hours.
Okay, so we got time before we'd go there anyway, and it might be a bad idea to lead anybody to him because I know there was already people there.
Mhm.
So we'd go check out this communications tower.
Scoop the tower, take a rest,
There'll be
meet
no
our
danger
colleague.
there. Yeah, it'll be totally fine.
Okay, cool.
Jake, what do you think?
If we need any extra room for stuff to hide, I know where to put it. Does that answer your question? I don't think that answers your question.
No, it answers. Yeah, it does. That's the most important thing anybody said all day, Jake.
It seemed that stowing away some of our precious cargo was essential to avoiding the unnecessary ire of the creatures that oversaw Hiroto. So it
that
seems of
and
great
telling them our
importance.
ship was haunted. We did that too. That was important.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes, we did.
Okay, great. So,
We convinced them the bad man was a ghost. That seemed effective.
there's also
could
there
be.
might be a kobold revolution.
Oh yeah,
You
we
know,
did also.
We may have
Stir
incited
up
a
the
small coup,
Tiny.
perhaps. So
It
That's
just
a
started a
reference-
revolution without me. That's not Asterius. That's me.
in your spirit.
I know.
Sad. Don't worry.
It hasn't happened yet.
It was
Actually,
inspired by you.
yeah, they're gonna do some underground kobold meetings. They have pamphlets. It's
They
all
do.
good.
They have the pamphlets.
The power of the
Fear
pamphlet.
not. This is space. There are countless planets for you to destabilize with revolution over the months to come. And so, with Lux at the helm, kind of cruising through the fog, within like 20 minutes or so, I think you hear like the calling from up in front, like, I can't believe it. That looks like that's it. Oh my God, don't crash us into that thing. Don't worry, we're going to be fine. Just hold on to it. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. As the ship like lowers it.
Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem. I had to work myself up to it, Crates.
Yeah, I know.
So the ship like you feel the like wings slowing and that like springy kind of bounce as the four legs of the dragonfly touch down onto the surface of this like small pad of ground. It appears to be surrounded by water around you, this kind of fog clinging to everything, but yeah, you guys could peer out of your windows and all that whatnot as the dragonfly lands.
Whoa.
We're on
Yeah, you are.
It's very.
Is it like swampy, boggy, or is it just
So
like-
as you're peering around you, it's like full ocean, right? Like you take a look out of one of the portholes and like it's just ocean as far as you could see. White caps and waves, and there's this clearly like somewhat destroyed and broken pad of almost like concrete, right? This like huge kind of platform of rock with these kind of crashed and broken walls and some vegetation growing on it. This enormous shattered statue like lays sprawled out and broken in the middle of the space.
Before we step out into the unknown, as we're wont to do, in the time that you've been apparently inciting a revolution, I did do some accounting and assessing of the items we've gathered, and it would seem appropriate to ensure that they are being used and distributed, and I just wasn't certain who had what, and whether everyone is properly equipped. This is also Troy saying, I have no memory of who has what magic items, and it would just, I think Jake ended up with like bracers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like a month and a half ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the sending stones that I think are just floating around. Somebody got a breastplate +1 from way back in the day. Our boys at Sabotage the DM, Dan Berman, playing Flux Warp Coil, gave you a breastplate +1. I'm not sure who's wearing that, if anyone.
I think
Did Lux
Lux
end up
too.
with that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the
okay.
one Lux
Well, I
ended
think
up
if
with.
we all vaguely remember the same
Yep,
name, then
That's
I think
correct. I
That's
see it there. Great.
You pass.
I don't
That's
remember
right.
what the amulet does, but I remember it being cool.
Oh, yeah. It's
So-
very cool. Here, I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Oops, that's not all players. That's just me. Save changes. Showed all players.
Hey.
The clockwork amulet. It's basically a copper amulet with a bunch of little gears and stuff. So when you make an attack roll while wearing the amulet, you can forgo the 20 and just automatically get a 10. So like it's just a kind of flat roll once a day. You could give yourself a flat 10 on a roll for an attack. It's kind of cool.
I don't need to take this. Somebody can have it if they want.
Oh, would you like to take it? That's
You
the
were
question.
very excited about buying it. There's also these that I feel like are probably in your bag of tricks.
those are
stuff.
docs.
That
Yeah.
I already put them on
I
my
mean,
sheet.
if it
so,
has,
yeah.
it has to be attuned by an artificer. Who else is going to
Requires
take it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
is,
you know,
Ben
that's-
an
I
artificer?
already have those.
What's Ben? Should we give them to Ben?
Don't you dare.
Let's take a vote. Let's take a vote, right?
I found these
I'll
tools
keep
on
the
a tagging
ring
for.
for now. I guess we don't actually know what the ring is yet. You don't have a pearl. so we don't actually.
Yeah, sorry. I also have far less money than I thought I had to actually learn these spells. But
We have a lot of
we have
money.
tons.
Like
We
we
do
sold
have-
the emeralds for like 20. We got 2,400
Mhm.
gold.
Oh, that's
Oh.
true.
I don't know, and it's just in the group inventory. So
okay. Well, yes. Now that that's returned back to the ship, then some things can happen. I suddenly I was like, oh yeah, I've been like learning these spells, and I looked at my character sheet and I was like, well, maybe I haven't. Maybe I've been learning maybe 2 if we split up the early money, but I don't know that we have.
I do have some stuff that we got from the cave with the ogres, like powdered silver, powdered iron, chalk, stuff that if you were better of use with it, you could have it. I'd have to look at what I would need for spell components for what I normally use, but we can figure that out later. There is this cool island right in front of us, so.
Yes. I will just say that Reginald would have interest in this amulet if no one else would use it. Could be of great use when I use a large arcane ability.
Yeah, you got it.
Sounds good.
Want to ensure some consistency. Very well.
Okay. Cool.
And I would definitely say that Reginald, through use of his arcane abilities, would at least know that the ring is like magical, and to give he didn't fully identify it, but
Oh, I can detect magic, so I can tell
guess.
magical. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Fearbog,
It
Yeah.
does come down. There is a battle axe and a trident that you got from the Deep Scion underneath Totomi, if anybody has any interest in those.
Ooh, a trident might be cooler than my spear.
It is, it's very similar. It functionally does a lot of the same stuff.
But it's cooler.
Yeah.
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 We end up on a lot of water planets, it seems. So.
Okay. Well, that's my. Unless there's anything else.
While this is like happening, can Rhea be ritual casting detect
Sure.
magic? Great.
Yeah. So as you guys are kind of going over the stuff, you're all kind of peering out of the portholes of the ship, which is like landed here. And Lux, I think, is just like sitting up in the helm, like she's pretty battered and banged up from this whole thing. I think the badman is hunkered down with Ben in the cabin, just like talking to him about cats. Yeah.
Right, because what's Ben's opinion of cats again?
I'm not exactly thrilled by cats. I've only met water cats, and they're disgusting. They don't even taste good. They're all slimy.
Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered.
I think Reginald like pulls out a little bit of the avian and aquatic meats that he acquired, and like shows a portion of it. Is that what this is?
No, not at all. Definitely not. That looks to me like some type of the swordfish that we take in Hiroto. And, well, I'm not sure what kind of birds. They might be pigeons.
Ah, I see. Well, saved for a future time.
It's quite the high-scale charcuterie board you got there.
Only the best.
Okay.
So can we go down the ramp?
Yes.
I think Ben should lead the way.
Oh, wait, you want me to go with you?
Yeah, you got a Ben token.
Of course.
I am concerned about putting our new friend in mortal peril within mere minutes of him joining our party.
Yeah, he is so old.
It was his idea to come here.
And the whole point is that he goes on adventures with us.
Wait,
he's not going to stay in the ship the whole time.
Ben, is it a trap? Ben.
I don't think it's a trap.
Inside check.
Get inside check.
26.
Yeah, he didn't lure you to a trap. No.
Asturias, I believe
He's
him.
overwhelmed.
I think we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Was
believe
that
him
why you wanted him
too.
to go first?
I think he's like, I'll be honest, I was going to go through my documents and see what kind of pertinent information I could gather up. It's been some years since I've read about the great tiefling tower of Mizire that was here on Cerelia, so I was going to see if I could find my reference materials, but I'll go with you. Come on. And I think he like takes this little rod off his belt and he pushes a button.
All right,
and
I'm
it's
following
like,
him.
and like extends into a fishing pole. And he's like, after me.
I think Doc's gonna be like, no. And she's gonna like, you could come, but I'll go
All right.
first.
I'll stay back here near your delightful mechanical dragon. I really relate to him. We're of a similar size. So yeah, the deck touches down as the dragonfly sits kind of like perched on the northern side of like this great slab of stone jutting up out of the ocean. As you like step out, the moisture just kind of like cracks you right in the face, the wind whipping across. There's this kind of fog still cloying to the surface all around you. It's hard to see incredibly far. It's daytime, but like the fog is still like limiting your vision, I don't know, about 60 feet or so.
Because a torch would not help. If anything, it might even hurt.
Yeah. It's not even like darkness, right? It's just about everything like obfuscated by this fog. But so yeah, the sound of like the waves crashing up against the edge of the stone around you just kind of like dominates the brine and the salt in the air. The faint like chattering of like gulls and seabirds you can kind of hear from the sky above, though you can't see any of them. What do you guys want to do?
Jake casts Gust of Wind in like 4 levels.
What does that mean?
That he would love to do it now, but he can't yet.
Oh, in 4 levels
Yes.
from now. I
Or
see.
the-
Uh-huh.
I want to
It
go.
was like a 4
I had to work through it for a second
Yeah, that's what I
myself.
thought
I was like,
Yeah.
cantrip, 4 level.
We're in a tower. I don't know.
Do you want me to
Jesus.
cast guidance on you? I don't know if that will help, but I'll do it.
Jake just slings his warhammer over his shoulder and just lumbers out of the ship. Looks around.
Am I detecting magic?
It's within 30 feet of you, so no. As you're kind of like peering around, there's these smashed stone walls off on your left, on kind of like the eastern side of this whole place. Off to the right, you see some more rubble with some kind of like foliage growing up out of the broken stone. And then this statue is out in front of you, like shattered, sprawled across the ground. These huge chunks of stone, like, you know, bigger than kind of rocks lie like tumbled about the place, but you don't detect any magic yet.
It's a very good map, by the way.
Jake's gonna look for like footprints or just kind of like any sort of sign of anybody having been here recently.
Okay. I just am going to check in with everybody. What are you doing exactly, Rhea? Are you doing anything particular? Just scanning for magic?
Yeah, I was walking up, just maybe checking out this statue.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys?
The professor, I think, is roughly circling around the ship, making sure that there aren't any like threats or things up along the coast or over in these bushes in here.
Okay.
So doing his best to be on edge to make sure the ship is secure.
Okay. How about you, Asturias?
I'm gonna do a history check because I'm looking for like tiefling stuff that I'd recognize.
Perfect. And Doc?
I think Doc is just continually placing herself so that she's kind of within range of everybody as they wander off, like ready to like run to anybody's aid if something happens.
Got it. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to have Jake make a survival check as he scopes out tracks. I'm going to have the professor make a perception check as he's scanning around for any like threats. Asturias, you're making a history check. scoping out this thing here. And Rhea, why don't you make an investigation check as you're like examining the statue?
-1, Troy.
I have
Yeah,
-1
yeah.
investigation, so
That's
Yeah, you guys.
Okay.
Professor is very aware of his.
I had a +7 in insight. So
So,
Should I?
guidance, is that what you were going to say?
yeah, I'm far away.
Okay.
From
The boy
No,
from the stars is
my
typing.
investigation is +5. I probably should have been helping with
That's
that.
fine. You're investigating the trouble that's about to come for your friends. So, just like running down the line here, Rhea, as you're like scoping out the statue, it's really hard to like make heads or tails of it, other than the fact that like it's a shattered, don't you forget about him. It's a shattered, broken statue. You have like little more to discern beyond that. But meanwhile, Asturias, as you're scoping this place out, I think that you note the statue and that you like recognize immediately that, what did you get? 18?
18.
Right, okay. So this was clearly a tiefling by your expectation. And yeah, I think that you would know that like there were a lot of like diplomatic outposts that the winged tieflings of Mizire had in the like various kind of ports around the stars, right? And so yeah, this particular tiefling, as you're like scoping it out, you would know them as having been, hold on one second, right. I'm just opening my notes, sorry. This was Antonin, the sage, and he was like one of the like first to kind of advocate for the tieflings to like take up this role as these kind of like teachers and diplomats to the other people after the five came to the stars. Meanwhile, Professor, yep, you don't see anything at all worth noting. And Jake, as you start like scoping around, you're kind of like scoping out, looking for tracks. It's mostly bare rock up here, and there's this kind of sheen of moisture clinging to it, a little bit of like algae growing off of it. But what you do see along like the edges of the walls over here, you see what looks like the shed molted skin of like snakes. And as you start looking around a little bit more, you see around like the base of the shattered statue near some of the rubble over where Ray is standing are these other kind of what look like almost like flaked off skin, though it's hard for you to tell what it is. It's not as easily identifiable as the, actually you rolled an 18. Yeah, it looks like maybe like the molted shells of like crabs.
Not gonna say it. The snake skin. We're talking like, oh, here's a little, critter snake, or are we talking like?
No, it looks like it's big enough
snake,
for the professor to use as a blanket.
Jake will pick it up, and he'll say, I think we need to watch our step. There's something here that's molting, and it may still be here. Also, crabs.
Okay. Yeah.
Do the crabs seem like? Are we talking small? Can you tell like? Are we talking like giant crabs or like small crabs? Like, is it something that you indicate size from, or is it
as you are peering over, Rhea, you see, you kind of are able to follow like Jake's like line of sight to the rubble in front of you, and you see a couple of these like flattering kind of skins and flapping skins in the breeze, right? And you're trying to like make size out of them, Jake, when I think like you guys see some movement, and it's at this point that I think we see a handful of these crabs that are about the size of like cocker spaniels come like skittering up from underneath the broken pile of stuff.
Do they have the
Crabs.
demeanor of Cocker Spaniels?
Oh wait, these might be people's familiars, so just be careful before we attack. I've
Who's
been
a
there before. You know?
Who's a little crab? Who's a good little crab?
So the crabs, like, they start like emerging up, and I think that like one of them is like standing up. It's got like the claws like out in front, and it's got like the weird little like crab mandibles doing like the crab thing by the mouth, and then it kind of like crouches down low and tilts itself a little bit. The claws like pointing out. Yeah.
Jake will say in Aquan.
It's our favorite
Yeah,
language
it's-
on
we
this
love
stream.
it.
By which he means we aren't here to do any harm. We simply are looking around.
Jake, who are you talking to?
The crabs.
And I think you hear next to you, Jake, like, and you like turn as like the little kobold is flying next to you, and he's like, "I'll be honest with you, I don't think those crabs understand a word that you're saying."
I think you're right. They don't seem. Do they seem to be?
Yeah.
They're standing in like, I mean, make an animal handling check, or yeah, make an animal handling check.
Oh. I
You'd
should
think
speak to
that
them.
as a ranger, I'd be good at this.
The nature priest is good at it, I think.
I'd like to cast. Ooh. Yeah, can I? Oh, it'll take 10 minutes to ritual cast. Okay, I'll just speak with animals.
Oh crap! I forgot. I do have speak with animals. Well,
Well, you were trying.
I was trying. I forgot that I could actually do
Oh,
it.
but we have a nature priest, a ranger, and a druid. It's like somebody talk to the crabs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like Reginald's like cracking open a spell book to begin a ritual cast of comprehend languages, which won't be useful at all. But
Okay, so as you're like scoping them out here, Jake, I think that your perception of them is that they're standing in like a defensive formation. They're all kind of like clustered up around each other with the claws extended, right? And meanwhile, Rhea, you begin like calling for a miracle from Clancy, and so you move your hands, you call this prayer out, and yeah, you could speak with animals.
Oh, hey.
And so I think that the crabs are just like, oh, hey.
Yeah, we are not gonna hurt you. Is there? Yeah, we're not gonna hurt you. We're just looking around.
Okay. These are our rocks.
Is there?
Our rocks.
Is there any? How many? Is it just the four of you?
No.
There's more.
Yes.
Like how many?
So many.
Like, can insight.
Is this a guy? Is this crab full of guile?
No.
Like trying to be intimidating.
You don't think that the crab has like
crab
enough.
puffs up its chest a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
Lie, deceive, use guile.
You don't think the crab has enough sophistication
Small
to present to you
patrol.
any kind of false tale here? It feels like it is
Okay,
an ocean
all right,
planet.
well, it's always good.
Probably there's a lot
Want
of
to make sure we're not in a
crabs.
trap.
Yeah.
You know. So there's lots of just crabs.
No,
Yeah. What else is there?
there's a flying thing and the snakes.
Oh, there's and a snake. When you say flying thing, you don't mean the big dragonfly.
Lots of snakes. Dragon? No dragon.
No, the ship is a big flying
No.
thing. But you're talking about something different than
Yes.
that. Because I could see how it looks
We
like.
have a lot of flying things.
It looks like
actually.
a bug. Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
We got, like-
Asturias can fly.
I could fly.
Yeah, they can
Oh,
fly.
that
Ted
can
could fly. Waffle could fly. There's the dragonfly.
My bees can fly.
Flying thing. It's
Okay.
got no wings.
Whoa. What is?
Don't
Do you know
love
what
that.
it is? You don't know.
It's
what
a
it is.
flying
Does it
thing.
have it- What do you? That's what you call it.
But it flies without wings.
No wings.
Can we understand like the crab?
I don't think
can't
so. I
understand
think
what the crab
Grace is
saying.
just like,
I'm like repeating like
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think like
I'm like,
Rhea's
yeah,
looping us in
Yeah.
a little. Okay.
Yeah.
I
like
just want
big
I
flying
want
thing.
to
No
I want to make
wings,
sure I
blah, blah,
understand the
blah, blah,
spell
blah.
limitations
Okay.
correctly. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay, well we're not gonna attack you. Well, the big flying thing, it's gonna attack us for sure, right? And the snake, it's gonna attack us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flying thing, not that big.
Oh, not that big, not that big. That's how it's working. I'm just like repeating it. Okay. Do we want to ask him anything else? That's all the info I got.
So there's a flying thing, a snake, and some crabs.
Yeah, and the flying thing's not that big. There's more crabs.
Ask him if he'll. Sorry, I was reverting into my Minotaur
It's
voice,
okay.
which sounds a bit like Rhea. Can you ask him if they'll join us if we get attacked?
Yeah.
Will they help defend us? Because we only are here to bring happiness and food.
Yeah. Okay, crabs. We're just here to bring happiness and food. So, will you fight with us? You'll fight on our side. Clancy will protect
Food?
you. Yeah.
What sorts of food does a crab eat?
Yeah.
Dead things.
Probably that swordfish.
I'm very sorry, but that is the finest sort of aquatic meat.
Oh no, don't share that charcuterie board with these reckless crabs. They'll never appreciate the sophistication of the palate.
Crabs. If the flying thing and the snake, if you help us, because that we'll leave it and you can eat it.
Good.
All right.
Yep.
Do we want to shake on this, or
I think it's
I'll willingly be pinched by a crab?
No, don't do
I
that.
think they just all shake.
You're shaking. Okay, I'll start shaking.
Doing like the whole crab thing, you know?
Yeah. Anything
Right.
else you know about this place? Like, I don't know.
Ooh.
You just
Have others been here recently?
Yeah, have others been here.
like us?
No, only crabs
and snakes and,
and
a flying.
snakes. Flying thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, this lasts
Wait.
for probably like 7 more minutes, so I'm
Do
gonna.
we know where the flying thing is? Could we like avoid it?
Where's the flying thing? Does it just show up?
Downstairs.
Yeah. Just, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
They have the
And
concept
the
of stairs. How fascinating.
Yeah. And the snake?
Right there. And I think you guys turned. I think you guys like turned. And this is this big, enormous snake just pulling itself up over the edge.
Like literally
like silently just working its way up over the edge, like sliding around from the side of the wall. Yep. It is.
It's like it's cursing at the crabs. Like I was so close.
It's definitely moving right towards you guys, and I think with that, for the first time in weeks, I'll just say roll initiative.
Eh.
I say just I'm like, remember, if you fight it, you can eat it.
Okay, crabs.
It's like the thing, like Reginald, like as the snake's coming up. Rhea, did you just enter a contract with crabs?
Yeah, we shook them.
They might be entitled to work as compensation.
If they don't have 5 fingers, I don't know if it counts as a handshake.
They're crossing their claws.
It's a 4-fingered handshake.
Yeah.
I just listened to that podcast.
God.
At this point.
Oh, that was very funny. That was very funny. Yep. Okay. Just 1 second. Sorry, you guys.
No problem.
Oh, who knew a 12 would be the crappy end of the initiative order?
I keep forgetting that The professor gets to add stuff to
dexterous?
initiative. I'm like not used to that. I get to add my intelligence to my
It's
initiative.
so good
Oh,
on
why?
top of your dex,
Because of
right?
Why?
tactical wit. It's the war magic ability.
It's so friggin' good, man.
Oh. Well, we'll
Yeah.
see which side the crabs choose.
Yeah.
Giant crabs.
They're
they're
the size of
Cocker
Cocker
Spaniel-sized
Spaniels,
Like
yeah.
relatively giant.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
Okay, Professor.
Kind of like how if you make a lizard into or make a tiny dinosaur into a lizard, then suddenly it's a giant lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
Exactly.
logic. I follow it. That is a ship token. Yes, Lux. It's to scale. So, with that, Professor, with your tactical wit, as you like glance past Rhea and see this enormous constrictor snake working its way up out of the ocean, you snap to action. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I think as like they say, like right there, like the pincher is like pointing in that of all of them, like point in that
Mhm.
direction, and the professor like, oh goodness, wait right there, and kind of extends his finger and casts Ray of Frost
Ooh.
on the snake, hopefully to slow this puppy down. Let's hope that I'm within range, and if not, I will move to get. I am not, so I will move to get within range. 1, 2, 3. And then I will Ray of Frost. Rolling some dice for 15 to hit the snake.
Yeah, it totally hits.
Hey, so there's 1d8 cold damage, which is a 3. But then its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next
Got
turn.
it. It
Nice.
is slowed. Yeah, so this bolt of ice launches off the professor's hand, slapping into the snake. The ice, like, kind of crystallizing, freezing its body to, like, the wet stone underneath it as it's starting to, like, kind of crack the ice, pushing itself forward. That was your action. You have movement and a bonus.
Yeah, I think the professor just like moves up a little bit, like kind of tucked up around the, like basically passes by Doc and just kind of like stage whispers, "Have I mentioned I don't like snakes? Please protect me, thank you." And kind of moves up along here, if I can.
Okay. Awesome. With that, on 22.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what's going
Oh, on
on
22.
there? What's going on there, huh?
The snake is
flying
someone's
thing.
familiar.
What are the odds of that happening more than once?
I'm double checking myself. Yep, 30 feet and then another 30 feet.
From inside the bushes. Oh no, from underground. Ooh,
Downstairs.
who knows?
Downstairs.
Stairs.
I think you guys see like darting in from in the fog, like racing along the ground, come another pair of snakes, much smaller than this big hulking one that's off to the side, and they're kind of coming up over the ruins like they have like these kind of like hoods around their heads as they're kind of like driving towards you with this unnatural sort of intensity and force. That's their action, was to like move and dash, literally. The crabs are holding.
They're not flying,
Nope,
are they?
they're on the ground. Nope. Old Ben goes on 21, and so I think that he
Don't dodge.
proceeds to like look around at the lot of you. Right, yeah. So I think he looks over to you, Doc, and he's just like, well, this seems very dangerous very quickly, so I really appreciate you taking me under your wing with your little robot dragon there. Do me a favor and just keep yourself safe whatever you do. I would hate to continue this journey without you. You can have a 1d6 that you're holding for inspiration this round, Doc.
Amazing.
And with that, he just proceeds to like come flying back over here
He's a
next
bard.
to you, Professor. And as he's hovering over you, he's got his fishing pole out like, don't worry, Professor, I'll be sure to keep us safe. As he's like just lingering in front of you right here. Jake, you're up on 15.
Alrighty then. I'm just reminding myself of one of my spells. Oh, interesting. I am going to cast Zephyr Strike on myself
Nice.
as a bonus action.
Okay.
Unlike the wind. And then, so this will let me close with the giant snake.
Okay.
Because it's like 35 freaking feet away, like, which is
It has
annoying.
to be, right?
Jake charges up, moving a little bit quicker than he normally does, and while he's moving, he swinging his warhammer, both hands, brings it down onto the snake, completely forgetting about the maybe I should talk to it first approach.
18.
21.
Hits. Oh, yeah, 21 hits.
He gets advantage on this attack because of Zephyr Strike. So he gets 12 points of bludgeoning damage, plus, because of Zephyr Strike, he gets a d8 force damage.
Oh my goodness.
And as he hits it,
Bees.
the
Bees.
bees spiral down the shaft of his warhammer. Sorry, and do 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
You got your bludgeoning, you got your force, you got your piercing.
Jake, with the bee-infested Warhammer Zephyr Strike, that is 19 points of damage altogether as you come like racing up and just smash this giant snake. The bees surging around it. That's your action. That's your bonus action. That's your movement. Is that it?
That is all.
That's it. Doc, you're up on 15.
Okay. Doc is going to run as far as she can, which is not, that far, because the snake is annoyingly far away. And she's going to cast Firebolt at the snake. Which is still only 1d6, which is sad. Oh gosh.
I'm going to be annoying.
I'm going to add
and move you down.
Oh.
Just because, like, it would have had a little bit of cover from the wall. Like, that wall is, like, tall enough you wouldn't have been able to get a clean shot. But you're able to kind of dart around the other side of Rhea, and you could see it. 10 still misses.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to roll my inspiration.
Yes! Hey-o!
16.
That hits. I knew you could do it!
Thanks, Ben. Now go back in the ship for 6 fire damage.
Got it.
And then Waffle, who actually has more movement than I do.
Legend.
But not that much more, is going to fly up to one of these snakes and whip it.
Whip it good.
Yeah. He's going to get on the other side of the snake, though, just in case. Oh my gosh, I have too many sheets open. Do your thing.
Yeah, welcome to my life. That's whispered, but
21.
I saw it. That's a 21. Yes.
Oh, why is
I
that
don't
whispered?
know.
Okay.
You have a whisper toggle button up at the top of the character sheet, I think. You should be able to turn off. But that hits.
I'll fix that. It's 10 force
No
damage.
problem. Waffle like hammers down, smashing this snake for 10 force damage. It's still up, but I'm talking barely. Like it looks like broken. The whole back of its body, the front of it is still like lashing madly for Waffle. Doc, that was your action, bonus action. That it?
And my movement, I'm
Okay.
done.
On 14, the big snake goes. Jake, it proceeds to lunge up towards you, and it's going to try to constrict you. The snake has eaten turtles before. 9. Not this turtle.
9.
I think it like lances up at you, its mouth opening wide to like grab hold of you to wrap itself around, and the jaws just like come flat up against the shell, dragging. Like we hear like this scraping sound as it can't find purchase, dropping itself back down. That's its action. That's it. It's just the snake. Rhea, you're up on 14.
Gonna get so I can see it, and then I'm gonna cast a guiding bolt at it. 24.
24 hits.
Wow.
I got very excited
Almost
for a
crit.
second. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
For 12 points
Jeez.
of radiant damage. I know it's
Oh.
not quite. It's only 12
And-
radiant, and it's got advantage. Yep.
Yeah, the next attack on it has advantage.
Got it.
I think that's it. That's all I'll do.
Nice.
I'll back up one space to be with my.
So
They surely they won't attack.
it's like wreathed in this like dim green light now, or like glowing from Rhea's guiding bolt. That's her turn. Asturias, you're up on 12.
I'm going to pick up some bits of broken statue and cast Magic Stone.
Ooh.
And throw one of them at this
I got
guy.
really excited about Magic Stone.
I hear that Asterius is tiefling for resourceful.
And it has advantage.
Indeed,
right?
it does.
Because of
Thank
the
you.
guiding
Yeah.
bolt, so it's a 19.
Well done, Rhea.
Hits.
Good roll. Good
This
roll
piece
there.
of rubble like hits it. Got it.
Wait, but it should be. Hang on. I don't think that's. It's 1d6 plus your spellcasting modifier, right?
Sure, should be.
So it's 5 plus 5. No, that's attack bonus. Just kidding. 5 plus.
Oh yeah, most of the
3.
cantrips you don't get the spell casting modifier on the damage. That's true. It's really like
It says it in the spell description. What do you want from me?
No, you're good.
So I think it should be 8.
You're right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
know how to read.
I know you do. It's established. So we'll fix that. It takes.
It's just well-established lore in our
It
world.
sure is.
Tieflings can read.
Some
What's,
tieflings.
Just
what's the
fine.
extra damage then?
So it's plus an additional 3.
Got it. And you can tweak the spell,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you know how to go in there.
Yeah, I can fix it.
The DM team here, I love it. Asturias. That was your bonus action. That was your action to throw the rock. You want to move? Anything else?
Oh, was it my bonus? Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm good where
Okay.
I'm at.
With that, on 6, problems
Oh goodness.
arise as you hear this voice from the fog, and I think that as your head like turns, the lot of you just hear this like gurgling kind of like who comes to disturb my island of crabs? And a lot of you like turn and you see this like shadow kind of looming, like hulking, like this towering figure standing in the fog, approaching closer and closer to you, and then it like comes forward and you realize it's not a towering person standing there. It's a relatively small flying thing, but it's hideous, as it has many tentacles with these eyes snapping around at the end of it, this bulbous kind of eye surrounded by an eyelid with additional eyes all peering at you as it comes like lurching out of the mist, hovering in the air, just like, yes. And it's going to fire a ray at you guys here.
Fire at Rhea?
Yeah.
What?
Fire array.
I'm behind the
You
crabs.
are standing by the crabs.
And he said, "This is my island of crabs." So
Unfortunately, I think he is going to shoot at you first, Rhea, as you're the closest thing to him that's not a robot.
oh, and I'm really tall.
You are also really tall. You're really, really tall. Oh, that's so sad. Rhea, I need you to make a DC 14 strength saving throw.
I'm kind of strong. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, so
That
out
is-
of like one of its little tentacles, this red beam fires, like it hits you, and you feel it like driving you backwards, but you dig your heels in, like finding the kind of the gaps in the stone and hold your footing. With that, it fires a second ray at you, and then it's going to shoot one at Waffle. So, okay, Ray, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, and then I need Waffle to make a Strength save, Doc.
Okay.
Nice. Rhea, the second eye beam that fires out of this thing, it's pure black, and it hammers into you. You feel it like draining your strength, just sapping your vitality. But you're pretty tough, so you take 8 points of necrotic damage as you make your save.
Okay.
Waffle, on the other hand, is shoved back away from this snake to like here, as he doesn't have any real footing and he's just knocked back through the air. That wasn't highly effective, but regardless, that's its turn.
Did Waffle take damage or no?
Nope,
He
he just gets knocked back. He doesn't actually take any damage, and that's its turn. Professor, you're up on 23.
So I think the professor had turned to the snake and was about to cast a spell in order to help protect Jake. But then at the last moment sees this thing coming and attacking his companions. So instead, he reaches down into his decoder wheel and then takes it and begins to rotate it and just says out loud, I think is able to yell loud enough to be heard, says, "You're not welcome here. I would suggest that you leave." And then goes, and as he kind of rotates it where the diamond is made visible, he then takes it and places it right over the amulet around his neck, which then focuses the ray, and he casts chromatic orb at second level with if I understood the amulet correctly, it's I roll a 10 on the d20 automatically and add my spellcasting attack.
You
correct?
sure do, yes.
Yeah, so that's a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Hey, okay. It's second level. Is it going to tell me? Am it going to let me choose? Oh, wait, hold on. Ignore my
No
dice
problem.
roll. There we go. That would have hit
You
anyway.
didn't need to use it.
And here we go. Dice roll.
For 22 points. What type of damage did we say? I'm sorry.
That's a great question. I think the professor, I think looking around, I think he goes for thunder damage. That's an option, right? Yes, thunder damage.
So we see the orb like racing across the distance, connects with this little floating mass. Boom! This explosion echoing through the like space, dominating over the waves. It takes 22 points of thunder damage. That sucked.
Yep. And then I think the professor moves out, like as he does this, he just like slowly, casually steps out into view from behind Ben.
Yeah, and I think this thing like whips the central eye at you, and it's just like, you will regret that.
We shall see.
and then it just makes a little angry noise. Professor, that was your action. This brings us to the poisonous snakes, which go on 22. This one, I think, like darts over towards you, Professor. This one slides in next to you, Rhea. For the Professor, for Rhea. Oops, I have them on whisper. 7 missed you, or 8 and 7. They both miss. They suck. They both are like launching themselves at your legs, trying to like get a piece of you, but the pair of you like moving too quickly, darting around, stomping. The crabs go, and I think that the crabs are like hesitating a little bit. And we hear like the voice of this thing like, "What are you waiting for? Destroy them!" And like, Grace, I want you to roll a retroactive persuasion check on the crabs. So I think,
Could I retroactively been helping her?
I was gonna cast guidance.
For this retroactive.
I did
Time traveling
open
guidance.
the door, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
You said it happened a while ago.
I did open the door. I suppose the guidance could be cast, but the like retroactive help, you were sort of helping.
You can't. You weren't speaking. You could. Can you? Because you weren't speaking crab, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I was
wish I
suggesting
could speak
things that
crab.
Rhea could say. That's the
True.
form of help that I was offering.
Okay, check.
I was the one that said
It's
we
so
would bring
bad because Rich
happiness-
can see that it's a nat
I know.
20 on the
So
Yeah,
this is what
I
I'm going to
know.
say.
He's
I'm going to
so
say
I
you will
did-
help, but just roll another die, Grace. We'll take the first of this roll.
because Jake was the one that said we bring happiness and
It's
food,
true.
and that's what they
Things are
responded.
timey-wimey in space, Josh. I just don't want to like block it. We know that. Yeah, there we go. 20.
There we go.
And so I think
Okay,
the
good.
crabs are just like, you promise us the dead food.
Oh yeah.
Revolution.
Is this violate Melissa's
Confusingly, I say no. Yeah. No,
And
yeah.
I think that they're just like, revolution. Clack, 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 clack. Like, the crabs like wheel on the snake in front of you.
Yes.
These two crabs will attack the snake in front of Rhea, and they suck and miss badly. But the other two
Whatever.
crabs skitter away towards the other snake. Professor, you see these like hulking cocker spaniel sized crabs come like scurrying up. They're racing like sideways across the distance. Ooh.
Yeah, they have advantage flanking.
One of the crabs is just like, it just bisects the snake. It grabs it with the things. It just chops it clean in half, destroying it. And they're making a bunch of sounds, Professor, but you have no idea. They're just like, and Rhea, I think you hear them just like, snake for dinner tonight. As they're like shaking in front of you. That's the kobold, or the kobold goes now. Ben is just like, I don't believe this. This is really something altogether different than I'm accustomed to. And Ben is going to fly forward a little bit. He doesn't. Nope. 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 No.
No.
I think that he
Nope.
he like looks to you, Professor, and he's just like, that magic is incredibly impressive. Keep it up. I've not seen anything like that. And he's going to offer you inspiration, Professor.
Great. I feel
I'm
inspired.
going back to the ship. He starts like flying up towards the deck. Doc, or Jake, I'm sorry, you're up at 15.
So he's
Now, you-
just doing bonus actions? He's not taking
He's
any
not
action?
taking any actions, no.
Okay, last round, didn't you just take a bonus action?
Yes. Me? No.
Didn't you?
No.
No.
They
Just did
took
your
a bonus
cantrip?
action and then an action to actually throw the
Oh.
rock. So, like, sort of, but no.
Oh,
I made the rock's
see.
magic as my bonus action, and then I threw
But
the
to
rock.
your
as my
point,
I
action.
to your
apologize.
point, Ed, he definitely is just taking bonus action.
I know
Now,
what
wait-
bardic
I know.
inspiration is.
I would also like to point out that you moved the wrong flying dragonoid
Oh my
creature.
god, yeah.
And they're not
It's
all
true.
the same.
You sent
They're not
Waffle
all-
back.
They're
to the
not
ship.
all the
How
same.
dare you?
Does Ben have a weapon?
Yeah, he's got his fishing pole.
Okay.
He's taking that
It's
classic dodge,
retractable.
that dodge action.
That is
Yeah,
actually
dodge.
exactly
He's
what he's doing.
dodge.
That's for
Yeah.
the best.
So Jake,
Hey, whatever. Protect at all costs.
Jake is going to attack the snake, and I believe he has advantage because it's currently glowing.
no, Asturias
from-
took the guiding bolt
I
advantage.
used
Yep.
it.
Oh, I didn't realize. I'm sorry. My bad. That's okay.
I needed it.
No problem.
Not that I could have left it if I didn't need it, but
Jake is going to attack.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jake is going to miss.
The snake like darting and weaving as the Warhammer's head just like crack smashes into the stone on the ground to no avail.
Jake is done.
Okay.
Jake is
Doc,
done.
you're up on 15.
Okay. Doc is going to run over to this snake. And she's kind of pulling her battle axe out as she does it, and she's gonna swing with her battle axe at it for 9. I assume that's gonna miss
Nine's a
terribly.
popular miss.
9
Yeah.
is a miss. The snake is like thrashing and like lashing. It's very serpentine. Go figure. And yeah, it's hard to hit. As that like axe just, and we see stone like gouge up off the ground.
I didn't even see Asterius there. Could I have flanked?
Doc just stepped in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
I
Doc.
just
I'm
got
Doc
sorry.
just got there, so you're out of luck. Yep.
I don't know. No
I'm a
horns.
little red
Not
one.
red.
No,
Yeah. No horns, not red.
I'm red.
I'm stars.
Not yet, because I used my bonus action to turn my rocks into magic.
Well, you'll be comforted to
Not
know.
stuff.
Magic
You'll be
rocks.
comforted to know while you were not here that Asturias was still stars.
Oh,
Doc, that was your action, bonus action.
Yeah. So Waffle is gonna fly over, and flank the snake, and he's kind of like whistling at Rhea, like "Ow!"
What?
Trying to help. He's trying to help, and he's gonna also miss.
He's
oh
flanking.
no, he's flanking.
He darts down
Oh,
to the
that
ground,
was-
his tail lashing out. Boom! For 3 points of force damage. Nice.
Does Rhea not have speak with Mechanoid up?
That's my turn.
Speak with artificer constructs. That is Doc's turn. The giant constrictor goes on 14. It is just going to follow up again. It's going to try to grab Jake. 24.
Oh.
That hits, right?
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
That does
Okay,
hit, yes.
excellent. Jake, you take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as the snake like grabs you and it like gets a hold of your arm, and suddenly its body just like lashes out, winding you up, and you feel it like crushing up against your shell, pulling on you. That was its action. And yeah, then as its movement, it's gonna just it like slips off the pedestal back
Oh, you
into
can-
the
can you breathe underwater?
water with you, and starts like trying to like take you down underwater while it's got you wrapped up, Jake. So you're only like a couple of feet underwater, couldn't move very far, but it still has got you and has pulled you off the pedestal. Rhea, you're up on 14. Wait, did I just skip somebody?
Do I get an attack of
You
opportunity?
do. Yes, absolutely, Doc.
Great.
Yeah.
Do it.
19
Yeah.
hits. Doc like cleaves it with the battle axe as it goes for another 6 points of damage. It's still up. Blood in the water as it and Jake like hit with this big splash, white foam kind of churning up, mixing with the blood as they start to sink a little bit.
Does Doc not have the magic battle axe?
Oh, Doc should have taken that magic battle axe. Yeah.
I didn't know we had a magic battle axe.
Yeah,
I
we
missed
might
that
have a
somehow.
battle axe +1. I think that.
Oh.
might-
That would have been
Okay.
next time.
So, yeah.
Can I see the snake? Jake and the
No,
snake.
not from where you are. It's dropped off the ledge. So, like, Doc can see it there, but nobody else can.
Okay. Well, I'll move
Okay.
to go see
So-
it. The snake, I think, gets an
It
attack.
sure does. The
The
little
poison
snake,
snake.
like surges, biting for you, Rhea, as you go. 8, miss.
Man, all these nat 20s
No.
on the second roll.
It's weird tonight.
Okay. Let's first try to just stab it with the trident.
Ooh, the trident. Eighteen
18.
hits. That's brutal. Is that right? It should have an extra +1 on it because of the trident. So that's actually 5. Got it.
How's it looking?
It's still up.
Oh, okay. Here's Chompers.
Here's Chompers. Okay.
We've done like
17.
15 points of damage to this thing since you said that it was barely hanging on. I think we
Yep,
have very
yep.
No,
different
no, it was
definitions
the
of
small
what that
The
snake.
little snake
That was
was
barely
barely
hanging on.
17 hits.
Yeah.
Chompers like dives down into the surface of the water. Like
Which weapon is it?
turtles, saving turtles. You love to see it. Oh shit. Jake, you're released as Chompers cleaves in to this giant constrictor snake and it relinquishes its hold on you, kind of floating lifelessly away.
Chompers
No, we
with the
gotta get
kill-
that. We promised them.
Chompers
The
with the
smaller
kill
ones.
steals. Is
I
so
double
good.
bonus action dash. Kidding, I have nothing left to
Get
do.
it! That was Rhea's turn on 14. Asturias, you're up on 12.
Okay. I'm gonna throw another rock at this snake over here.
Nice. Magic stone.
And I fixed it, so it should do
Cool.
it right now. If it'll click, there we go.
Ooh.
That's not gonna do it. I miss with a 9. We're gonna have to deal with this beam guy at some point, so I'll use my bonus action to turn into stars.
Okay.
But am I gonna move? Yeah, I'll move. I'm gonna move this way.
Asturias heaves the rock flying as their form like transforms into like the glimmering constellation of stars. Which one are you going for?
The
Okay,
archer.
figured. And you
classic,
come
yeah.
flying forward towards it. So I think as you're flying over the shattered statue of this tiefling beneath you, you see this creature levitating in the air. It's like somewhere about like 8 feet off the ground, floating there. The eye stalks like all kind of wheeling towards you, all the eyes like blinking in unison. And you see underneath it this kind of shattered stone like dais almost that's raised up off the ground here. You can see like traces of what looks like electrum, like this bluish kind of metal woven into it in the actual like base of it, inlaid, and there are these arcs of this kind of blue arcane light that's like surging underneath it as the thing floats here. Asturias, that was your action, bonus action movement, right?
Mhm.
Okay. It proceeds to. Okay, it's going to shoot a beam at Asturias and a beam at the professor, and we'll take it from there. So for Asturias, 2. I need a strength saving throw, Asturias. For the professor, I need a dex saving throw.
Oh,
With
my
a dexterity
favorite.
of 0.
My
I'll
favorite.
trade you.
I was gonna say it's really too bad this one's so
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
Oh, okay,
Oh.
Asturias, this red beam hammers into you. Boof! And you feel it trying to like drive you back away from it, but it does not succeed. And professor. Unfortunately, you are not that fast.
No, I am not.
In an alternate dimension, you're very fast.
I take fewer steps but move the same distance.
What else? So you have the like clockwork amulet. Do you have any of the other magical items that were collected?
One moment, please. Not that I'm aware of. Let me think here.
Oh, you have my ring.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it.
Do I have it or do you have it?
I sort of envisioned that you had it. So
Okay.
I think it's supremely unhappy with the result anyway, and so it hits you with another beam, Professor, and I need a strength saving throw.
Okay. DM shenanigans. I'm down
I just
for
keep
it.
rolling
Let's go.
twos. It's so lame. I keep getting like the worst eye beam. 16. You are not pushed back. Nothing happens because this guy sucks. And it.
Mysterious is very ethereal, and the professor is very sturdy.
Yeah.
So.
It checks out. It comes floating forward, putting itself right around here. That's its turn. Professor, you are up. You're up.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
it's a bastard. It's like glaring at you as it's like closed the distance here. I'm gonna have you make a wisdom save, DC 14.
Okay. Wisdom save DC 14. Oh, I should actually click the word wisdom, shouldn't I? Am I wise? I am not wise. I should know this by now with my -1 perception.
16.
But
Okay,
16,
you
good
are
roll.
good, but you see it like glaring at you with this like massive central eye, all the eyes on like the eyelid blinking, and you feel your body like going rigid almost, and you realize that like, for this round you're good because you made the saving throw, but while it's within 30 feet of you and like gazing at you this way, if you look at its central eye, it's going to try to paralyze you at the start of your turn. So you can opt to look away going forward. But for now, you're fine. You made your saving throw. So what would you like to do?
So I would need to make that decision at the end of this turn or at the beginning.
At the beginning of your next turn. Either you are looking at it and you make the saving throw, or you avert your gaze and you're blinded for all intents and purposes, right?
I see. Very well. Very well. In which case, it doesn't appear to be like shooting out attacks, does it? It appears to be inviting other people to make saves. Is that generally my assessment?
Yes.
My tactical assessment? Right. Boy, this is actually quite challenging. Yeah, okay. Keep it simple. Magic missile. Done.
Okay.
We're gonna magic missile.
Okay. Magic missiles are great.
Unless boom, boom, boom. Here we go. One. I have to click digital dice for every single one of them.
Sure do. You can get it to auto roll, so you don't have to move the mouse. I don't know if you have it set that way, but that's 1, 2, 3. That's 12 as magic missiles hammer into it.
Yes, and I think the professor like notices something odd about it in the way in which it's looking at him, and just says, "Please look somewhere else." And it kind of adjusts his bow tie as 3 magic missiles fly out from it.
And it's just like, I look where I want. This is my island of crabs. 23. Professor, that was your action. Yeah. You have movement and a bonus.
Yeah, can I just can I like move forward closer to it? But I can maybe as like a bonus or a free action, can I grab some of my swordfish and throw it down on the ground for the crabs near me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give just as like a thank you for your
Yeah.
service.
Yeah. You toss some swordfish down into the crowd next to you. The crabs are just like, just rewards. Professor, that was your action.
That's it.
The
Yep.
poisonous snake is going to go. It wheels on Waffle. A lot of good that's going to do it. Who is closed in the melee range to smack it. 8. It's like its teeth drag across the metal of the little dragon to no avail. The giant crabs will go. They're going to wheel on the poisonous snake and miss badly.
That's excellent.
These two crabs just grab the swordfish and proceed to like scurry over here with it, eating. They can't reach that flying thing. And Zrox is up here now, like flying on top of the ship, just like calling out encouragement to all of you. Like, I believe in you. A lot of you are really impressive people. Does anybody have a crossbow up here? And he's like fumbling around. He does not have any effective long-range weapons. Maybe next round he'll discover the ballista. Jake, you're up on 15.
Oh no.
God help us.
You muted Kurt.
He's a bard. He's
Can you
probably
say-
pretty dexterous.
Can you say with the dexterity of 0, but
With the
as...
dexterity of 0.
How high is this like wall here?
Wait, what do you mean? The actual ledge from the water back up?
No, where I'm clicking.
Oh, that wall
So-
is somewhere in the region of like 6 feet to varying degrees.
Oh, okay. So it's not like.
No,
okay.
it's not quite like I'm going to
Not
jump
like a
over
low
it half
garden
wall.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake is going to hoist himself out of the water. And
I did not mean to do that. Sorry, friends.
Did I
with
miss
Jake
something?
swimming, this was a long debate we had earlier, whether Jake could swim or not.
Jake doesn't have a swim speed,
Right,
so
right.
is Jake able to pull himself out of the water? I'm assuming.
Athletics check to climb up there, I think.
Really? Come on.
I think you have to. It could
That's
be.
great.
You're good. 11 is enough. I just needed a 10. It's like a little bit like slippery, but you're able to kind of get your feet like situated. It's kind of rugged and whatever. Yeah, you pull yourself up. You're good.
Can I get to where I
Yeah.
place myself? Okay. Then he's gonna fire his. He kind of sets his warhammer down next to him, pulls out his longbow, and fires an arrow at the round thing.
Go for it. 16 hits
16?
solidly.
For 10 points of piercing damage.
Got it. Anything else? Bees can't fly that far.
Oh, crikey. No, the bees. Yeah, the bees do. Thank you for the bees. Do
No
damage.
problem.
What do you mean the bees can't fly?
That's
that
what
far?
I was
They go
wondering. It
along
didn't
the
make a
arrow.
lot of sense to me.
The bee's riding on the
Yeah.
arrow.
Zzz, the camera like zooms into the bee just clutching the front of the arrow like
For another 4 points of piercing
Got it.
damage. Thank you. Forgot
no
about the
problem.
bees.
Jake, was that your turn?
Jake is done.
Doc.
You're up on 15-1-6.
Okay. Doc is going to kind of run around the corner of this thing. And she's going to. She's going to shoot a firebolt at the floating creepy eye
Yeah.
thing. 14.
14 misses. Just twists out of the way as the bolt sails past it.
Okay. And then Waffle is going to move slightly so that he is flanking the snake with this crab. Are they
Sure.
friends?
Yeah, they're friends
Not really,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's gonna hit the snake for 15.
15 hits.
Okay. For 10 force damage.
Boom! Waffle, the destroyer. He just like smashes the snake in the back of the head and breaks it, and the body of the thing like falls limp to the ground.
Okay. And then he's gonna use the rest of his movement to fly over to this thing.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Reggie, did you kill this first snake or was it a crab?
Crab.
Did you kill? So a crab,
So we've
waffle, and
done
chompers.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's our companions and summons that are doing
Yeah.
all the killing.
Crab, waffle, and chompers solved on the work. Yep. There is no giant constrictor left. Rhea, you're up. What would you like to do?
All right, gonna move within 15 feet, or move 15 feet, and then cast Toll the Dead on this thing. Let's see what we can do. It has to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 15. I feel like it could be wise.
16. It's made its wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
We hear the ringing, tolling of the dead, but this flying thing is not having it.
Rhea will take out her little necklace, pray to Clancy, and get a first level spell back as a bonus action. And that's the turn. I'll move closer. So move 15 right in front of Doc. Yeah.
Perfect. That's
I'm very
Rhea's
tall, blocking
turn.
your view.
Asturias, you are stars. Waffle is in front of you. This little like flying eyeball creature is like glaring at the professor. What would you like to do?
I got one more rock.
Okay, I actually am
room.
going to be a jerk here. I'm sorry, Asturias. So you have to also make a call. I think as you were able to see what happened with Reggie, you might have a little bit of awareness here, but you're within 30 feet and you can see its eye. It doesn't have to like focus on one person. So either
Got it.
you have to make a saving throw or you have to avert your eyes and not look directly at it. So you got to make a choice what you will want to do.
I'll make the saving throw.
Okay, so that will be a wisdom save, DC 14.
Good. I'm
You
wise.
are very wise and proficient in those wisdom saving throws. As you like step forward and you go to heave the magic stone and like it like peers at you, the eye twists all the other eyes and you're like and despite your like ethereal astral form, you feel like your body going rigid, but your mind is too strong and you shirk it off, and just like that you heave your magic stone, which hits
yeah, fixed
nice
it.
for 5 points of bludgeoning damage. And your bonus action?
Yep. Shoot my starry arrow.
15 just hits
Busy being wise, not strong.
for 11 points of radiant damage as this like astral star arrow hammers into this thing. Asturias, that was your movement, that was your bonus action. What else would you like to do?
I guess I'll back up a little bit because I don't need to keep making wisdom saving throws. So I'll come back like here, I think. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so it comes like floating forward a little bit. It's like wheeling and like spinning, eyes like pointing in every direction. It's going to send a beam at the professor, a beam at Asturias. Oh, Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
Oh, so many
I'm going to have both
ones.
you guys make dex saves.
Dex save.
And then it's going to fire
again.
one for Rhea. Ooh, a new one. Got it.
It's an 8.
I'm noting that.
Oof!
Oh, no! Brutal. What magical items? Do you have any magical items on you, Asturias?
I don't think so.
Okay. Rhea, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I should have mentioned before, do scrolls
Yeah,
count?
I've got them in mind.
Okay.
Grace, a like bright,
Wow.
gleaming, like hot beam hits you, and Rhea proceeds to take 28 points of fire damage.
Down.
Things just
Down.
occurred. Rhea drops.
Is a 4 a dex save also?
What? Yes.
Okay.
Rhea drops as this fire.
My turtle's gone.
Hits her. The turtle vanishes. The trident like clattering off the stone as Rhea lays at your feet.
No, the spiritual weapon stays.
Oh, it's not concentration.
It's not
It's not.
concentration. It's
so silly.
very silly. that
Bonus
it's not, but
session
it's
with
not.
3 clerics. You'll learn
Yeah.
these things.
With
Yeah.
3 clerics. Unfriggin' real. That was its turn. Professor, you're up on 23. Do you avert your gaze?
He does not exactly avert his gaze, but he does remove the pince
Okay.
nez from the end of
Got
his snout, which serves the purpose of averting his
Indeed
gaze.
it does.
And he steps forward slowly, and I think he plucks a small hair out from him, and then twists it and turns it into a spectral mind sliver that he then casts on.
Gross.
Yep. He's trying new things. He's not crazy about it. It hurt.
It hurt.
Yeah, so I need a DC 15. Int save. That's brilliant. That's going to work out great.
18. It makes it.
Yeah, nothing happens. Nothing happens. But the professor is now right up in its business, and this thing is hopefully getting some kind of. You don't get to float around for free.
Okay.
And I will say that the professor prepares his quarterstaff two-handed. He kind of it's kind of tucked in back. It's actually like a cane, you know, that he like a little walking stick, and he's ready to go if needed.
Okay. On 21, the crabs go. They grab this snake carcass and just go like scurrying off around the wall, like.
You don't help me.
They just like. I think that there is a moment of like, the
fine.
talking one is dead. We'll eat her later, and they grab the snake and like run off. You know. With that, Rock's Fool Belter is up on
Fair
the top of the
enough.
ship, like, oh my word, there's a ballista up here.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute while I get it all unstrapped. He's like, yeah.
It's gonna hit Jake in the back.
I do think you just hear like Reginald be like, "What?"
Jake, you're up on 15. What would you like to do?
Jake is going to.
You're good. You're good.
Just some measuring. Just
I can do that too.
Yeah, don't worry.
Jake.
The professor
is
very
going-
clearly wants to draw attention, so
Does he have a clear shot at the guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure how high the rubble from the fallen statue
No,
was.
the rubble is just in like heaps on the ground, right? Asturias is flying over it, and with Rhea flat on her back, like you can easily take that shot. Sorry. Sorry.
Jake will fire another arrow. He pulls back the string on the bow, and some bees kind of come out from his shell and start to like wind along the arrow as he fires it. 16.
Hits.
So the arrow does 12 points of piercing damage, while several of the bees do 5 points of piercing damage.
Amazing. And with that, whomp, the arrow hammers in, bees surging around. And this little thing is like, and like the eye stalks like curl in on it. The eye like wincing closed. It like shrivels up and just falls. Whap, with this like thud to the stone at your feet, Professor.
I think the professor tries to just grab it by an eye stalk before it falls.
Yeah, make a dexterity of 0 check.
Uh-huh. We're just gonna see. Can he catch the falling item?
Catch a falling goth and put it in
Ooh.
your pocket.
Hold on.
17. Wow! Your strong, deft, magic casting fingers snap closed around one of the tentacles, and you're just holding this thing dangling from one fist.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Rhea, assuming
Great
we're
decision.
Thanks.
yeah. Oh, stupid. Yes, level for 10
Nice.
healing.
Wow.
Yay.
Rhea, your eyes open as you feel like energy flowing back in your body. Doc, like leaning over you.
Thank you. Thanks. Did we kill it? You didn't
Yeah.
kill the crabs, did you? I don't
No,
think-
the crabs ran off with food. Although they didn't seem to, I don't know, they didn't seem to care you went down.
Well, they're crabs.
They didn't bite us. They did
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Ben's got the.
We didn't ask for empathy.
Yeah. it's
Yeah, I
true.
think as you're laying on your back, you do see like the ballista like swings around with Ben like flying at one end of it. Like, all right, I'm ready. Point me right at him.
Jake gets into his shell. He like spins.
A couple of bees.
Yeah, the professor's holding this thing, but I think just kind of like moves it out of, target range, but then tries to examine it as best he can.
Yeah. Make an Arcana check, Professor.
Arcana.
When like 10 seconds have passed and no ballista bolt has hit him, Jake emerges from his shell.
Bumps at it.
Yeah, I think Doc's gonna yell at me like, "It's okay, you can come down now. Don't shoot."
Yeah, and so like as Ben is like flying his way back down, yeah, I think Reginald, you in your training in the Gift Q Academy, certainly you know of the Eye Tyrants, you know of the Beholders and the Beholderkin, and I think you very specifically like know exactly what this is. That it's not like a full Beholder or a true Beholder per se, but one of like the lesser Beholders, a Goth, eye raise, aberration, terrible creature. I think that there's like an echo in your mind of the words of the receivers, the kobold guards in Huiroto, that spoke of the Sahagwin's many tentacled, horrific god, and there might be like some kind of connective tissue there for you in this moment.
Behold, a god.
A god?
No. It's a simple creature, a type of aberration that can present itself to be quite powerful and wise at times. And lesser creatures are known to serve them in ways that are, well, let's just say unsatisfying to most folk. Needless to say, this one shan't be bothering us again. I think he just tosses it over in the direction of the crabs.
Apparently Rhea's more powerful than that thing. If that
More
thing was
powerful than a
controlling
gun.
the crabs.
Sorry, Clancy. I don't need to. Can I walk over to the other crabs, the ones that ran
Yeah.
away? I just want to ask them. Was that the thing that lives downstairs? Was that no wings? That thing, or is there more?
I think your speak with the animals dropped because you were unconscious.
Oh, I will. Recast.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course you would. So as you cast it again, and they're just like, "You're not dead."
No. Clancy brought me back.
No.
Still haven't found what I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
Clancy
So
did it.
is yeah. Sorry, Doc. That's the thing that's downstairs.
That's the flying thing.
Yeah, with no wings.
Yeah.
Okay, well, enjoy your snake.
Oh, we're gonna eat that too.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. I walk away.
Bye.
Can
That
Doc
was worth
check out, yeah. Can Doc check out the thing with the blue
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Can I ritual cast detect? It'll take 10 minutes. if we're waiting
Sure.
around.
You're just ritual casting left and right
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a ray of
Well, you
rolls.
don't burn a spell slot.
I know.
So
I have detect magic too. If you were doing one.
with Doc, Asturias, you come walking over to like this dais with the electrum kind of inlaid into the base, as it were, and you see these like this blue, like etheric energy, this arcane energy, kind of like just like trickling in these faint, like almost sparks of like a dying, like transformer or something on a telephone pole. What do you want to just scope it out? You can make an Arcana check. I don't know if anybody wants to help or there's guidances or whatnots, but yeah.
Assuming that this occurred after this all, then I would certainly be willing to help. Yes. Yeah. In which case, 20.
Okay.
20! You guys and your Arcana checks. It's unbelievable. Right. So as you're examining this thing, Doc, you're pretty clearly able to identify, like, oh shit, this is a portal. This is like 100% a portal. You're like certain of it. It like.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
portals.
I was typing that.
Oh shit, portals. It's definitely was a portal. It seems to have been very intentionally like smashed and broken and shattered, though there's obviously some lingering arcane energy here that is still like kind of surging through it in whatever way. But I think that you're able to identify pretty easily that this wasn't like a portal to a different plane or anything. It would have been a portal to like someplace else on this world. And you remember Lux having like identified a similar portal not long after you left Chitomi, further over near Chitomi. So like you wondered to yourself like, oh, okay, maybe like a network of these things or a series of them to like travel around the world to like these different locations, like one by the capital, one here, whatever. And so, yeah, Asturias, I think that, like, given your history check from before, you're like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, a lot of the Tiefling embassies would have had teleportation portals, like, actually situated within them for the Tieflings to be able to travel to and fro easily, but to remain accessible to the people who were in need of their services. Whoa, that's a crazy sound. I don't know who it was. So, yeah, there you go, Doc.
10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I think it's magic.
And so it's not, it doesn't work anymore.
It's
we don't think.
Not working now, though you fix things, you could certainly like try to do something about that, but it seems to have been like intentionally like defaced and broken, and there's some lingering amount of energy here, though it's not functioning the way it should.
Interesting. I'll definitely like explain this to everybody else.
So what your intention is to fix this? To make it easy?
No, if it was broken, maybe there's a reason it was broken. I think we should go downstairs first and figure out.
Yeah, plus if we if we fix it and we go in it, we don't know where we would go.
Rhea does not appear to be of full vitality.
Oh yeah, I'm detecting magic by the stairs, and then if I think whether or not, no matter what happens, I would like to short rest. So
I would say
could use with a short rest as well.
A short rest would give me limited additional benefit at this point, seeing as how it's been a long day. But if yes.
Enhanced capacity of your companions would be of benefit to you.
Of course, I guess my question was not rest or don't rest. It was short or long. At some point, we should need a long rest. For some of us, it's been quite a day.
I can probably get by without a rest.
I'll be honest with you, this whole exercise has been pretty exhausting, and I really could use a nap.
For like an hour or like?
Well, I'm very old. I mean, I generally sleep somewhere in the realm of 10 to 12 hours at a time, or 3 to 5. It varies wildly.
Yeah, I think you sleep less as you get older, not more.
Relatable.
Amen.
Do I detect magic from the stairs?
Okay, so Rhea.
Oh, I'm within 30 feet, so I probably just detect the. I did
So
the
you
portal,
detect
probably.
like strong conjuration magic around the portal, of course. There is some lingering magic about the body of like the goth as the crabs are like kind of ripping it and eating it apart. And you don't detect any magic about the stairs themselves as you're like standing there. Yeah.
The one thing, Reginald, I was just thinking about, if we do the math on sleeping for 8 hours, where's that going to put us in terms of having to go see Rish?
Yes, it appears we have approximately another 12 to 14 hours, perhaps, before we need to meet him.
How long does it take to get from, hypothetically, from where
So
we
it's going to be like
are
2 hours
that?
from where you are back to like meet with him, right? Because it was about 3 to Roroto, and like you're like an hour away now. So it'll take about 2 hours to get back to him, and you've got about 12 till you have to meet him.
Based on my calculations, it seems should we want a full rest before returning to Mr. Dannon, we could take a short rest now and have approximately an hour or two before we need to get back in the bunks, so to say. Some of which could be done along the way, along the ride to the Crooked Teeth Island type place, whose name I definitely remember.
What time of day is it?
What kind of day is it?
Time.
Oh.
I also heard kind of day.
I was like,
I
think it.
We just feel kind of tired.
Yeah.
It's busy. You start a bar fight, you fight a thing with a bunch of eyes, that kind of day.
So what time of day is it? Let me just like go back through like my carefully crafted DM catalog of time here. As you guys were with Reese, you left. It took 2 hours. You went through the night. You get to Roroto. It was in the morning. It's like probably in the afternoon, late in the afternoon.
We went for beers in the morning.
Yeah, no. I think like that was the
Definitely.
thing. War. I was gonna call him War Dog. Warbeam, like abandoned work early in the afternoon because he got so exasperated dealing with customers. You know.
Right.
I don't think I'm.
Being exasperated dealing with us.
I don't think I'm tired enough to go to bed right now. At most, I could take a nap.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
let's take a
short
nap.
rest. Let's go see what's downstairs. And then if it looks real, we could sneak down there. If it looks real dangerous, we just get out of here.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was not being perceptive at the moment. Was the idea to go down first or to rest first?
Oh,
Nap
rest.
first.
Perfect. Yes, excellent. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll these.
I've already used my arcane recovery, so I cannot.
Is old Ben here singing us a song of rest?
No, he can't sing. He doesn't know how to sing. He won't say it.
I think he's
What
just a
level
very
is this
inspirational
stupid bard?
kobold.
He's really old, but he's not very many levels. He just ran a shop
Level
for his
2
whole life.
ability, okay?
He just ran a shop the whole life, you know?
Not everyone develops their abilities.
He hasn't gone any adventures. You have to earn XP.
It's true.
You have to have a reasonable chance of death.
He's lived with this hagwin his whole life. There's a reasonable chance of
That's
death everywhere.
plenty of chance. He's had plenty of chances of death. Yeah, he's a little small out.
Ben.
And to use all 4 hit dice.
Yeah, I've
I
only
mean-
got one left.
At the risk of metagaming, I'm curious.
That's not what I was
When I look
thinking.
at the amulet during my rest, do I notice any difference?
No.
When I look at the ring,
Nope.
like you asked me
Yep,
about
Nope.
magic items that I had on me. Do I notice
You don't.
anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Yep. Everything seems to be fine. Yeah.
So I think in lieu of the rest, because Reginald doesn't need it, he will instead inspect the orbs and
Ooh.
consult them for any knowledge of beholder kin in and around this area.
Okay, sure. Why don't we have you make a history check with advantage?
Hmm. Why don't we?
Really? Wow, you guys with the freaking knowledge checks tonight. You guys know things.
Outside of combat, we're
You were
unbeatable.
slaying and destroying. So I think as you're like consulting. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. So the
Yeah.
orbs. What do? You get the orb from Yavanna. Is that the orb you're like consulting?
I think so. The most recent orb, we got a second orb, correct?
You got
From
an orb from
the Mordekaiser?
from the deep scion.
From the Deep Scion, that's right. So yeah, I definitely would like to investigate that orb, see that it works, whether it works the same way or not, and then specifically look for information, more recent information about this area.
Okay. So I think as you start like examining the new orb and you're kind of like you're parsing through like the information in it, like you're scanning through it, your mind kind of like linking up to it as much as you're visually processing what is making itself kind of projecting up out of it while you sit holding it in your hand and reflecting back on Cerelia and the presence of the beholders and the beholderkin. I think that this orb it contains like a great deal of information about like the state of the world under the governance of the Tritons from 4 or 5 centuries ago, and the like protocols that were like handed down from the tieflings, the rise of the kobolds with their engineering as they were like developing it and learning. And ultimately then I think you do hit a point of like the Sahagwin were never a prominent people in Cerelia, and they appeared 4 centuries ago, pouring through a portal to the elemental plane of water, and they give worship to some like nebulous undefined god that is not named clearly. But the more and more like you read of like the references to like they're very much like this they came as zealots, right, as like this conquering legion with this kind of fervent devotion to their alien god. And the more that you read of these recountings, the more you're like, oh, their alien god could just be some very, very powerful beholder. It's certainly like within reason. If it's not, in fact, one like horrific entity from beyond, like as truly as daunting as it is, like, you know, there's a lack of like verifiable fact and a lot of hyperbole, is what you're reading.
Yeah, and it's the sort of thing where like a knowledgeable person with a hypothesis could sort of read between the lines and find data to affirm that's like what you describe as a miracle could simply be the arcane or the natural abilities of a very powerful version of these creatures. Interesting. Okay, that's it. And I'll just say like one last question, which is the orbs. We talked about them a little bit in like before the stream, but just like what do they look like? How big? They're like the size of like a basketball or like of a small crystal
I think
sphere?
that they probably like vary in size, but I think that the ones that you have now are a little bit like maybe like the size of like an orange, you know, like maybe slightly smaller than a baseball, somewhere right in that, like you could hold it in your hand perfectly, but also it was just awkward enough for it to be really weird that the badman swallowed one. Yeah.
And are they distinguishable physically in any way
Yes,
from
the
each
one
other?
that you found here is very much like appears like almost like this black obsidian. It's got this kind of like mirror opaque finish, whereas the one that was sent with you with Yavanna is like like a clear glass crystal almost. When you hold it up to the light, you kind of get that light refraction of like a prism inside of it, right?
Okay. Thank you.
So there's a lot of like physical distinguishing characteristics about them, to be sure. Okay, so the professor like researches one of the orbs over the rest. You guys are just taking your rest. You're burning hit dice, arcane recovery. That's it. I don't think anybody gets anything else really important back, right?
I get my wild
Oh yeah,
shape
you
back.
sure do. That's really useful, actually.
I don't even get to arcane recovery. It's okay though.
Lame. Well, as your rest is wrapping up, I think that Ben is like, where are you as you look at the orb, actually, Professor?
I think the internal layout of the ship is that like most of the like real arcane items are like at the helm of the ship essentially. So any sort of like device or storage, I would imagine, unless Jake feels differently, like would be up near the nerve center of the ship. Like this is probably done in a fairly public space, not like in a private room.
Okay. Jake's not clarifying otherwise. So I think that then like to
Yeah. No, he said unless Jake thinks differently. I'm sorry, Jake does not think differently.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think to that end, I think that old man Ben would see you like parsing this orb and kind of like scanning through it, and he would be like, by the twin moons of Cerelia, is that what I think it is?
A little of that depends. What do you think it is?
Well, if I didn't know any better, I would think that those were the great orbs of knowledge held at the repositories from the first days.
It appears as though these are two of the great orbs, yes. One was given to us by a trusted colleague, and another was given to us by someone less trusted.
And I think he's just like, I knew when a lot of you came walking into my shop with a furball and tiefling as well as a changeling. I mean, your doc is really quite remarkable in her own right, but you're talking about having a ship and being intrepid explorers of the stars. I couldn't have possibly imagined that you would have resources like this. I've spent 73 years imagining what it would be like, the knowledge contained within one of those orbs.
It's certainly a vast amount of knowledge. The question is whether one knows how to access it, and it seems we're only just scratching the surface of how best to utilize all of the many things that we seem to have gathered over a short period of time.
Well, I know what it's like. You just collect things and then eventually they make themselves useful. But it can be hard at first to parse what's what exactly. Well, I'll ponder on this. It's really, it's remarkable that you have not just one, but two. And clearly, fate conspires around the lot of you.
Ben, would you like to look within one of them?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Professor. I'd like nothing better. I think it would be very, informative.
And I think he kind of like looks around the room for anyone who might like be taking their short rest kind of out in the public area. And just to kind of
I'd love to insight check him, but I can't. I'm resting.
Okay. Reginald's not, but I think he will check with anyone who's in the area as to whether they agree with that or not. Even though he already said out loud. That's how he rolls.
Sure.
Doc trusts Ben implicitly.
Now.
Now.
Yeah. In which case, I think he would hold out the dark black obsidian orb, believing it to have the most information that Ben might be able to access or decipher and make sense of.
Okay.
And says, "Have at it, good friend."
I can't believe it. By the twin moons of Cerelia, I hold in my hand one of the great orbs of knowledge. This is truly beyond my wildest dreams in this lifetime. And he like kind of like is like touching it like, my, it's very responsive. I've not held a piece of arcanum that's this old or contains this much. Oh, by the waves, look at it.
And he's just kind of like digging through it for a time. And so, yeah, and the rest completes. Hold on one second. I got to double check. 7. Okay. So you guys finish your rest with Ben like kind of examining the orb as the professor does. Yeah. So you guys are all like rested up. And I think as you're all like getting your wits about you, I think Ben would say,
Well,
he'd probably be just talking to you, Professor, as everybody else is kind of like gathering and circling up around this conversation. He's like,
well, the manuscripts that I've spent all these years reading, it says that, well, the Tritons lost control of their way back to the elemental plane of water, and that it was being cut off from their formidable resources back there that actually led to their ultimate defeat. My understanding was always that this was a bit of legend and hyperbole on the part of optimistic resistance fighters to the Sahaguan Empire, but it looks like this does in fact confirm it. It seems like not far at all from Hiroto. I'm sorry, I meant to Toby. There is the very portal in question, and that the Sahaguan are still holding it to this very day. Now, as a resident of Hiroto all these years, I can tell you that the Sahaguan, well, they're lazy, rather incompetent. They hate being up above the surface of the waves, so I always just chalked it up to their insistence on getting back underwater. But it's quite possible that, well, their centuries of absolute control have led to some measure of negligence protecting this portal. I can only wonder what one might find if you were to go examine such a place, if there's hope.
That seems like a fascinating question. If it is true that their defenses are weakened through apathy and misunderestimating, if that is even a word, their
Who's
enemies.
misunderestimating?
It sounds as though, if I understand correctly, if we were to regain control of the portal, our Triton companions, most notably Rhys Dannon, would be able to get some form of reinforcements in order to assist in whatever sort of upheaval might be occurring in Hiroto and other places.
I think Ben is like shifting through a bunch of like tubes in this basket. He's got all these kind of scroll cases jutting up out of one of the baskets Lux brought up for him. And he pulls out like one of them and like toonk and starts taking out papers. And he's like,
I have a series of documents that go back to recount the Triton's governance of Cerelia, and according to everything I've written down here by the kobolds of the First Age, they were actually quite noble stewards. They ruled with justice, and they supported the rise of the kobolds after Hux came and introduced us to the Ziri engine that advanced our ability to manipulate technology. It seems that this orb, well, I've learned more in just moments that you've allowed me to dig through it than I have in years reading some of these old documents. So I would say that it's possible, Professor. I don't know what lares on the other side of, well, the horizon, let alone a portal to another world, but it's certainly possible there's more Tritons out there just waiting to come help their beleaguered allies.
So it seems as though, and I think he starts to turn to like the people returning from their rest or gathering in the area. We have 3 options. We could go down. We could go find this portal, if it is in fact where we believe it to be. Or we could just ignore all of that and meet up with our companion. 4th option is just leave. One could always
I'm
just
voting
leave.
for the 4th option.
Certainly my least preferable of the 3.
I'm voting for the 4th option. I think we should just leave. I've been saying it for hours. I think we have to just go. We've got Ben.
Reginald, you don't want to see what's down the stairs.
I think we go down, and then like we go meet the peanut butter guy, and then like next maybe
And then
we go to
with
the
him,
portal.
we do a revolution.
Yeah, we could do
Yeah.
all of the things.
Yeah, we just have to do
Except
them in
the
like a
just
very
leave.
specific order,
Right.
Yeah.
and
Very
then
well
we
then.
leave after we've done the other 3. Then we leave.
Yeah.
Then we leave. Once we've destabilized an entire continent and possibly an entire world civilization.
Yeah, what could go
Lovely.
wrong? Mission accomplished.
Okay,
Alright.
downstairs.
Yes. Okay.
Downstairs.
That makes sense.
Oh, I love it.
It's like first we check what's under the pillow,
Yeah.
and then we violently overthrow the government, and then we go home. Except not home. We just go somewhere else.
Onward.
Yeah, Ray's gonna head for the
Oh.
stairs.
Meet friends for drinks. That was the middle in between. That's what we meet.
Check
We
on
stand in
Warby.
for
Check that Warby has been murdered at his
Yeah.
at his
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind at some point hearing a conversation between Warbeam and Ben. So I think we should facilitate that.
You guys are really gonna push me. Okay, I'm feeling it. I'm ready for that conversation. Warbeam is simple. Warbeam is like basically me when I wake up in the morning before I have coffee, right? There's not a huge distinction there, I don't
Nice.
think.
I'm giving you advance.
Yeah, I
notice.
appreciate that.
No.
I
Yeah.
All right.
appreciate it.
We're gonna stealth downstairs.
Sure.
I have disadvantage on that, but yeah, let's do it.
I can cast. I have
Guidance.
prepared Pass Without Trace.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Amazing.
I have no idea if that's actually of use, but
Yeah,
I will cast
Would give us
it.
plus 10 on our stealth checks.
The
As long as we're
question
within
is
30
there
feet of
something
you.
down there that can actually hear
Yeah.
us, or are we sneaking around in emptiness? We don't know.
Could be.
But
idea.
but I'll cast it. Sure, why not? Here, I'll even put it in the chat. And I will mark that I did that.
Okay, we doing stealth checks? Is that what's
I
happening?
guess so. So you guys are just going to unload from the ship Asturias. You're casting Pass Without Trace, and the bunch of you are going to make your way down the stairs. Is that correct?
No, Nicholas, it's fine. You can stay on the ship if you wish to get off this planet so quickly. It's okay. No.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely
Lux
staying
needs to
here.
stay with you. It's
Yes.
fine. No,
She
it's
doesn't
fine.
have to stay, but I'm going to stay with her because I want to. Not because anybody has to.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, Doc, this battle axe. I believe this would make better use in combat, perhaps, if it wasn't already. Okay, right. Being quiet. Yes, being quiet.
Okay. With the casting of the Pass Without Trace, Asturias, and a lot of you begin to descend down this circular set of stairs. Okay, I got Doc. I got Rhea at disadvantage plus 10. I got Asturias. Holy shit, dude. Amazing.
We're being quiet, are we not?
Amazing, actually, by the way.
Sorry.
So that's a 31 for the total.
Oh, I have an 11. It's an 11.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully the DC's 10.
Oh gosh, amazing. Okay, so the lot of you are making your way down the stairs, and you're moving like as quietly as you can. The staircase is about 10 feet wide. It's this like rotating circular, very classic kind of circular staircase, the pedestal in the center. There's, again, like much like in Chitomi, there's all this moisture clinging to the stone, this perpetual kind of like algae and bit of slime that's just sort of like growing on everything as it was. And as the lot of you are like moving along, trying to remain as quiet as you can.
I was gonna say Waffle is definitely like out in front, like keeping an eye.
Okay, I was going to say,
scouting.
what's the marching order? So we got Waffle like leading the pack.
Yeah, and I'll go right behind
Okay,
him.
so it's Waffle and then
I
Doc.
feel like I should be up front, but I have no dark vision, but I can be up there.
I was gonna ask if it's dark.
It's definitely dark as you're descending. How far out in front of you is he, Doc?
Like 20
Okay,
feet.
got it.
The professor would remove the cover on his thing producing his flame, so he has a
Got it.
torch.
So there's like this light, like glimmering from the back as the professor kind of follows up. And as Waffle is rolling out in front of everybody, most of you are doing a really good job remaining silent. Asturias, your magic has cloaked your clumsy metal-clad allies quite well, for they can't fly and they are not stars, so they make a lot of noise. Jake, surprisingly, very quiet turtle, but the rest of them, gosh, doesn't seem great. And so I think it's with that poor Waffle.
Who is vigilant.
Oh, he is vigilant.
So, yeah, he cannot be surprised, which is why I put him
That's
first.
a great idea.
There's no light,
No.
right?
Except from the professor, like in the
So
back.
Jake,
Professor has a torch thing.
Jake has can cast Mage Hand, so they again the Hand of Bees has formed and is holding the torch floating next to him.
Okay, got it.
Is it possible that the professor, if we're going down like slippery spiral stairs, that he maybe slipped and made some noise, and that's part of his his one?
I think it totally is. I think the professor, like, woo, like a foot slips of rock, like kind of gives out at the base of the stairs underneath you. Your like mass kind of hits the wall. Poof! This like echo resounding. Waffle cannot be surprised, which is very fortunate for him. As Waffle flies past down this hall, Doc, I think you see from behind it this thing just like separate itself. And Jake, I think that the hairs on the back of your shell stand up. The hairs on the back of your bees stand up. The bees on the back of your neck
bees on
stand
the
up.
back of your neck
Yeah,
stand
there.
The bees stand up.
Well, there's one bee crawls up onto his shoulder and is like, beep, 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 just taps him. Excuse me, sir.
Literally, Waffle is like flying out ahead at the very kind of edge of like the flickering illumination from the professor's torchlight. And I think we see what looks like a whole section of the wall almost kind of like shift out, like closing him off. But I think, Jake, you realize immediately that's no wall. It's an ooze.
Of course it
And this ooze, like, it just kind of lurches forward to kind of swallow Waffle and absorb him. And with that, I'm going to say real quick, let's roll initiative.
Ooh.
You want to clear the last
Yes, I just have to find the initiative tracker because I have 37 things open on my window, and none of them are the initiative tracker. Oh, yeah, here it is. Found it. Removed. It's clean.
Done.
Oh,
Oh. I forgot to switch back. That's Doc's initiative. No, I'll
Got it.
Okay.
I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I see all you guys. You guys are great. Okay. Professor, you may act.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just like see a thing. How far out in front?
So
is,
literally,
uh,
Waffle's
is-
like 20 feet out in front of Doc, and Doc's like 10 feet in front of you. So like 30 feet away from you. What you're seeing is Waffle like flying along at the very edge of your sight, and then like part of the wall seems to like peel off. Like you think for a moment, it almost looks like it's a door like shutting and boxing you off. Like a whole section of wall just shifts out into the staircase in front of you, and then you realize like it gets viscous as it's not wall at all. It's like this big gray ooze that's trying to like swallow Waffle up.
Yeah. I think immediately the professor will just like look out in the distance and will say, "You there? Stop! You cannot attack my friend. You are scared of nothing. You are spineless." And it will cast vicious mockery.
You're spineless. It is in fact spineless. Wisdom save, huh?
It needs to make a wisdom save against DC. That says 14, but I think that's inaccurate. It's
I think
15.
that is inaccurate. Unfortunately, this unwise ooze manages to be unaffected by your cutting words. It cares little for your insults.
Yeah, I'm not going to move. I will stay where I am, and it's now someone else's
Okay.
turn.
It would be Doc's turn.
Okay. Doc is going to, in a blind rage, run forward towards the ooze and be like, "No!" And she's gonna swing at it with her battle axe because it has enveloped her baby.
No. 20!
Hey.
Legend. She's a legend. For 17 points of damage. Unbelievable. Doc, as you cleave into this thing, it's like it like splatters, and I think that you see some of the ooze like splattering onto Waffle, and it like hissing and like sizzling, melting away at him, to no real damage or anything. But it's clear that these things are like very, very dangerous for metal. Your newly enchanted axe, however, unfazed.
I was gonna ask.
Unfazed.
Excellent.
Doc, that was your action, bonus action, anything else?
Can Waffle do anything on a bonus
Yeah,
action?
Waffle could definitely still attack. He has not like been absorbed yet or anything like that.
Okay. Waffle's gonna kind of thrash around inside the ooze. For 23.
23 hits.
For 4 force damage. She's very, encased.
Got it. So that's 17, 21 points of damage altogether. As Waffle's like inside of it thrashing around. But like you realize this thing is actually damaging Waffle pretty dramatically as it's in contact with them. So basically he's got like -1 to all his rolls as of this round, as of now.
Okay. -1 to hit?
Yeah.
Or like just
all
everything?
of his rolls, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is going to bring us.
Oh, bad for metal. You weren't kidding.
Which brings us to the ooze itself. I think that it is just trying to like absorb Waffle. It like clearly is just trying to like consume this metal thing. But Waffle like thrashes up out of it and manages to like extricate himself from this thing, is like flying above it now as the ooze like slaps onto the ground, like splattering around at your feet. Doc, that's its turn. Asturias, you're up on 11.
I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt because I am still concentrating on the Pass Without Trace, just in case.
Got it. 12 hits. It's a big ooze.
Oh, because it's squishy.
As like your starlight like lights up the darkness of the cavern. Oh my god. With 20 points of radiant damage, we just watch this thing like it like splatters away, and like the starlight like still kind of clinging to it with the guiding light, like the advantage, it just like melts. It's all like hissing and kind of sizzling away as like the last little like sections and puddles and droplets of it. Like they're trying to like coalesce back together, but they just kind of go inert, dying still on the ground.
Meanwhile, Owl City's Fireflies plays in the background. Yeah. It's bad joke.
And I think that it's at this moment, actually, Asturias, just as like you fire off this guiding bolt and eradicate this thing, you hear a voice in the back of your mind, like, Asturias, this is Afaris, the Wizened. I wanted you to know, your friends, they're coming for you. They have just sent at least a dozen. And then it cuts off. Sorry about that. I had to cast the spell again. At least a dozen of the Sahagwin riding on the backs of the Quetzalcoatls. I just wanted your friends and you to remain safe. You can reply 25 words or less.
You can reply to this.
Okay, thanks. We'll get out of here.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
We'll get out of.
Okay. That was really good.
Maybe even an
Yeah.
Maybe
That was
even
a really good one. Yeah.
We should go.
Because of the
Go,
ooze,
we
there's
just-
more ooze. Yeah.
We just got here.
Ferris says they're coming. We should go.
Ferris is coming. Well, then we.
No,
Oh,
not
yes.
he's.
Okay. I suddenly just now put it all together.
With it, I don't have dark vision, but there's like flames. Is there anything else in this like
Yes,
cavern?
I think
You see
down
anything?
in front of you, like the stairs have flattened out and there's a hallway leading to like a stone door that's still like open. It's ajar. And as you're peering like in like the slightly open door, you see what looks like rooms, like a big, like grand kind of like a room opening, like the light just vanishing into the darkness on the other side of the door.
Like they don't know we're here, so there are rooms to explore.
Yeah,
I
but like they're
read nothing like
coming.
really-
Do they know where we are? Aren't we hiding?
I don't know.
I mean, we also
Just
have a
said they're
big
coming.
ship.
It's not that large.
It's a small ship.
Although
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it's like
know.
on
Standards.
I
like
don't know
if
if
there's-
they have any sort of means of tracking or finding us.
We
I
did dock the ship,
And
they
I-
were in
yeah.
charge of it for a while.
But they did think it was haunted.
I did a whole thing with prayer book and incense. They for sure. I think
ghost.
I do really want to know what's in the rooms, but if they do come, did he say how many were coming?
I think he did, but I already.
He said there were at least
said
a
a
dozen
dozen.
of the flying lizards with Sahagwin on them. Not kobolds, but
Yeah,
Sahagwin.
Like I have one spell that I could use left, and that's it. Like I do think if we have to fight a
That's the
dozen
same.
of them on this platform here, it
what
won't be
what
great.
what if I cannot believe I'm saying this. What if we just barrel through down here? We just
Just a
smash
real
and grab.
quickie.
Just like go,
Smash
go,
and grab.
just
And fight an
burst
ooze
through
in every room. Okay, all right, let's go.
we at least go until we encounter one, and then oh nope, sorry, and then run back up the stairs and away. But
Jake, what do you? Jake,
Have you fought an ooze yet, Rhea?
I've encountered ooze. Rich, what I know about the
Secrets of the ooze? Is it?
I literally just bet you hadn't even gotten to go in this combat.
Oh, I know. But then
We
Rick
can
made a
barrel
secret of the
through some
oozes.
oozes.
How populous are the ooze colonies?
Do I know if this sort of ooze, are they solitary?
Never.
Are they typically accompanied by other
Always.
oozes?
Yeah, the place is filled with ooze.
Yeah, you have an ooze, and then you have twos, and then you have
Throughs.
throos.
When an
When an
ooze loves another ooze.
Makes a booze. Giving booze.
Jake, I
a
trust you
cookie.
implicitly.
I get to make intelligence checks with advantage on my knowledge of these
Damn
oozes.
right. With guidance, because everybody in the party has guidance.
Well, no, I
Somebody's
kind of
ooze.
get advantage. I don't need guidance.
I'll give you guidance. I will always give you guidance, Jake.
Yeah. Ray just like perpetually has
Yeah,
his
just
hand
like-
on your shoulder.
The whole
Just, like,
reason they
follows
sent me
her
on the
around.
ship was to give you guidance.
It's like the bees keep like stinging you. Oh, it's working.
Doc, have you ever noticed that Ray is always touching Jake on the back, just subtly when he's not paying attention? Okay. So yeah, Jake, what does your intelligence tell you?
Well, the DM has to answer that.
Always there with company. Never are they alone. They're like very consistently where there's one ooze, it has undergone mitosis. Yeah, their oozes come in
Yep,
multitudes.
that's the right one.
Yeah.
There's most likely more ooze-like entities down here.
I think
I feel I need to exterminate them all. Let's continue.
I think that like the exclamation point on Jake's statement is like we hear the door like one of the doors pushes open just a little bit, but you see nothing coming through until like you hear and you see, like look down to the ground and see this undulating mass of ooze just kind of like working its way towards you like some big, slug-like entity shuffling
there
its
he
way
is
up
now.
the stairs.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think we should go.
I'll get the badman to fire up the ship.
All right.
I really want to explore the rooms, but like
Yeah.
12.
Anything that's if there's any coin in there, it's all decayed anyway. So, wait, do I know that about oozes? I don't know that.
Well, it depends on the ooze.
Mm.
Now, if you're looking, and he starts to go off.
Rhea is enraptured.
Is that the moment? Is it like Doc, like reluctantly, but the rooms, as Jake is like lecturing on oozes, and we just kind of fade to black with you all standing in the staircase, unclear whether you stay or whether you go.
Yeah.
Is that the beat?
Yeah.
I think that's the beat. I think that's where we leave our adventurers tonight. Not quite the cliffhanger of tension, but nonetheless, an ooze undulates along the floor. The five of you stand in the staircase, waffle burned and battered, and Jake in his glory.
Is that a waffle joke?
Yes, it was. It was a bad one, but I'll take it nonetheless. Cool. Yeah, cool. That was fun, you guys.
Great. That's very fun.
I definitely, I enjoyed that. I wasn't sure about the reception of Old Ben as a full-time crew member on the ship by those who were not here last week. It seemed like it went over just fine.
I mean, if he does things more than inspiration.
It's inspiration we didn't have.
I mean,
before.
that was my
That's right. We gotta look. We gotta hold people to the standards that they can, whatever they can bring to the table.
You just wait until he really puts that fishing pole to work. And
Oh, I'm giving him. I forgot to give him a
it'll be
spear.
worth his weight in halibut, that little guy, any second here. Cool.
Speaking of fish poles, do we? I guess we still don't know exactly what this trident does, do we? We
No.
just have a name on a sheet at the moment.
Like you, the players, know what it does, but the characters do not know what it does yet. It is definitely wrapped in it's got all this kind of coral and all of this very nautical thematic stuff happening. It's made of mostly brass,
Very cool.
And the battle axe is just like a very classic looking. It's like this black wooden haft and like just the classic twin crescent silver blades, real cliche battle axe. It's awesome.
I took the Trident, but if anybody else wants it, you can have it.
Yeah, I think it's yours. Cool. So that's what we'll pause down tonight. I know you guys were eager. And I wasn't sure what exactly we were going to do, but this is a good spot for us to stop for tonight, and we'll see where we come back next week. I don't know who we have yet. Melissa, you're going to be out, right? We're down to Doc.
Yep.
I think are we down to Badman for?
Yeah, we're down Badman one more week.
For a bit.
But yeah, we'll see how many of the rest of you all we can round up when we come back next week on Tuesday for Dragonfly.
I mean, fortunately, the ship's right there, so you know.
It is. You have a lot of options, and we'll see what happens. Cool.
Yeah, if it's easiest, Doc, grabs a waffle and like runs back to the ship to fix him while people.
Yeah, I think that waffle being in danger is the ultimate justification for Doc to do anything. And I really like supremely loved the two like little unspoken beats where that thing finally did damage and zeroed out Rhea, and then Jake just fucking killed it, and then that thing like attacked Waffle tonight, and then Melissa's like, nope, Doc rolls a 20.
Nat 20.
Yeah. Like that was like ultimate. Like dice responding to the actual story. I loved it right there. Good stuff. Cool. All right. What's going on with you guys this week? Grace, you got anything cool and exciting going on?
I do. So first, on Twitter at Hi from Grace, you can check me out. I do a podcast called Hold Up. We had a great guest. Brooklyn Zed was on the podcast.
That's a great guest.
We were talking about Velvet.
I love them.
It was a good get. It was a good get. It was tough to book, but it was good. It's really fun podcast. It's really
that
great.
actually might be true. I don't know.
Right now,
It's definitely true. It's definitely true.
I just said when can you
like free
podcast
podcast that day or something?
Yeah.
I did.
And
That
we're
podcast
watching.
stopped while I was recording another one.
Yep. We're watching My Name Is Earl next week. I'm going to be on the Big Brother recap tomorrow on Rob is a Podcast, and all day tomorrow I'm taking over the Rob is a Podcast Instagram feed. So check it out. Probably do some AMA chat and see a day in the life of Grace and Luna. Check it out.
That's fantastic.
fun.
You should go check it out. Go follow the RHAP Instagram and go follow Grace and pay attention to her stuff because it's awesome.
Thanks.
Clutch. That's cool. That's super rad. Kurt, how about you? You got anything going on? Anything going to hype up?
Nothing anyone can participate in.
Fair enough.
Or,
I'll keep my eyes peeled. If you go live streaming,
Wow.
you'll be on DM Philly. I see when you go live. I'm gonna watch for you to play some video games this week.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, I got.
Okay.
Man.
I mean, I'm doing tabletop escape room games, and I'm reading books, but those are all very much just in my own head and in my own world, so it's nothing that anybody.
Your book recommendations over here on this Twitch channel have been smashing. You've officially gotten many people I know to read a multitude of books in the last 6 months. So I'm always here for a Kurt Clark book rec. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case.
Oh wow, that sounds
That's
like a bit, but it's not.
I'm reading S by J.J. Abrams.
Ooh.
But it's kind of like a meta book because it's a book called Ship of Theseus that was written in 1946. But the entire book is you have marginalized a conversation between people who are trying to solve a mystery that's all written in the margins, and there's physical artifacts in the book, and it's kind of interesting to read because you have to read the chapter, you have to read the conversation about the chapter, and then you have to read, why is there a postcard from Brazil stuck in here, and there's a mystery within it, and it's really strange and interesting, but yeah, that's what I'm reading.
I quite like J.J. Abrams, and that whole thing sounds miraculous. I don't even know. That just sounds like a lot and very interesting, and we should document these adventures that you're going on because they sound involved. But thank you for sharing your book.
It sounds like someone said, do you like reading, but do you want to do even more work while reading?
If you want a book within a book.
That's fascinating.
But also a scrapbook? Yeah.
Yeah. It's why are these marginal comments in a different color? And you kind of figure out, those took place at a later date. And it's a different story that you're not quite
I'm reading the wiki, in the Ship of Theseus or whatever. That's a fictional book
Yeah.
that somebody wrote, and then they also wrote a story about the fictional
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, the fictional book even has like library checkout.
Oh my
stamps
god,
and stuff
dude, that's
that-
brilliant. That's great.
So
Wow.
that's J.J. Abrams
I
for
do
you.
love JJ. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough. I know we're not allowed to say that kind of stuff anymore. Zed, what's going on with you? What do you got doing this week?
Recording like 700 podcasts with Josh Wigler before he
What-
goes on
what
vacation.
podcasts are they?
That's what my life is. Thursday we did Final Fantasy, then I played a bunch more Final Fantasy, then on Sunday we recorded Final Fantasy, then we recorded Mole Patrol, then on Monday we recorded another Mole Patrol, and on Thursday we'll record another Final Fantasy. I'm almost done with Remake. Soon I will beat this game, I've been told, theoretically, and then play it to 100% completion while Josh is on vacation so that then we can talk about it some more. That's what I'm doing. I was on Hold Up. I live at the whim of Josh Wigler for another week, and then I go back to working on Broadway, so I'll see you all in September, maybe.
Well,
That's
That's
kinda it.
exciting,
we'll
though.
miss you, but Broadway's
I mean-
lucky to get you back. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I roll.
If any of us attend a Broadway show or are appearing on Broadway, then we'll see you
Yeah.
sooner than that.
It's
Great
true.
point.
Sure.
I understudy the understudy. It's fine.
Yeah. Grace and I aren't allowed in the country yet, but like theoretically we could go to a Broadway show.
God.
Yeah.
And Kurt's a good dance captain. Just watch out for
Oh, he
Kurt.
definitely is. Yeah. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to get caught up on all these Final Fantasy podcasts. I have not started your Mole Season 2 podcast yet because I'm still working through your Mole Season 1 podcast. But I watched all of the Mole in like a day, as you well know. So I'm going to have to rewatch it before I listen to the podcast. So you got a lot of homework on my plate for me, but it's homework I'm looking forward to, so that's exciting. Melissa, how about you? What's up with the sparkly vampires this time of year?
Oh gosh, yeah. So podcasting for the post show recaps Patreon on YA with Kevin Mahadeo. We just recorded Breaking Dawn Part 1 this week with Catherine from the Discord. So that was really great. So that comes out on Friday. And then we may have some shenanigans planned for the rest of the Twilight podcast. So keep an eye on that. And then I promise we're going to talk about something that isn't Twilight starting in September. So that'll be great, I think, for a lot of people that have been rolling their eyes at us covering Twilight.
Mostly what I've learned from those podcasts is that even people who like Twilight seem to not actually like Twilight or have a lot of complaints about
that's
Twilight.
my takeaway.
Like, I wouldn't even say that I like Twilight. I like
I'm not
podcasting
even
with Kevin.
including you in that group.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
our friend Pia in the chat,
Yeah.
who apparently loves Twilight, but also, spoilers, hates
And
Jacob.
it's Team Edward. It's a lot. Anyway, yeah,
I
we had
haven't
Adam
read a
on
book
to
Team
talk
movie,
about
I don't
Eclipse,
know.
and that was great. So, and what we're going to do a marathon, but maybe Troy wants to talk about that. I don't know. Yeah, so that's my thing. Check out patreon.com/postshowrecaps or follow me on Twitter, Melissa W28.
Yeah, go follow Melissa. Go pay attention to all the podcasts she's doing, whether they're about Twilight or not. They're really good, and they're fun. I can't wait for you to crack into something else, but I've been enjoying this run, so don't rush. Troy, how about you? You want to talk about a marathon?
What? We're doing a marathon? Yeah, sure. So for anyone who isn't in the post-show recaps D&D game that we run out of Glarendar, who are you? We'd like to hear from you. Hello. Shout out in the chat or tweet at us if you're watching this later, like 6 months in the future. I don't know. But we're excited to have you here. We are going to run a whole bunch of D&D games back to 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 back.
Good counting.
So it's going to be 9 sessions.
With tabaxis.
At least one.
At least one.
At least one.
At least one.
Yeah, so it's going to be on this Twitch channel. It's going to be August 6th and 7th, I think.
Yep.
Whatever that Friday and Saturday is.
Yep.
Starting at I think 10:30 in the morning Eastern time, and it will be 40 hours straight of D&D content. The final we think, assault against the Red Wizards of Thay that have overtaken part of the Umber Marsh east of our town. So the vast majority of our player characters are going to play, and the vast majority of our DMs are going to DM a session that all ties together. And we're very fortunate that the players are willing and able to allow us to stream that, to share with each other, and to share with any of you who wants to watch. So check that out here at twitch.tv/DMPhilly, which is a good reminder that this is also a good place to throw a subscription. If you got your free Amazon Prime subscription floating around, I know Rich would appreciate it. I'm going to save him the opportunity to do a plug there. But it's better coming from me than from him, because I don't get any money out of it, and it comes no money out of your pocket, listener. It's just is helping Rich,
It's the ultimate
which is great.
deal. I need that money more than Bezos. He's in space now anyway. No, but for real, I'm really excited about the marathon. That's going to be a blast. I'm really excited to be able to share that here. I will be set up to take in donations here at this channel that are going to be going directly to the charities that we'll be talking about as we play through the actual sessions. You're going to be hearing a lot about it, but we're doing it to raise money for a group of different charities. 9 sessions, 8 DMs, 40-something players. It's going to be a really great time, and I'm sure if you're hanging around here, you will hear about it before then. But yeah, a week from Friday. Other than that, we got nothing big planned for the rest of the week. We'll be back on Sunday night with Kings of Neon. And yeah, that's it. Kick me a follow, kick me a sub if you can, and thank you guys all for hanging out. I really appreciate anybody who stops in just to watch us play D&D together all night. It's a really good time hanging out with my friends rolling dice, but it's really fun to get to share it with anybody that's out there. So that's it. Yeah. Okay.
Yay.
And with that, we go
Bye.
bye.